Right as the mics went hot. I shouldn't eat them gummies. That's how we're starting the show off.
Everybody's going to wonder Sour Patch Kids.
Okay.
Everybody's going to wonder what gummies you're talking
There we go.
about.
All right, guys. Welcome to Live Well here this Thursday night, Fish North Georgia. We are so glad you guys could join us. Got a pretty fun show in store for you guys. It's going to be trivia night. We're going to see what you really know. Now, we're going to see what my guests know as well. So all you guys in the comment section, hey, listen, we appreciate you guys joining us. You bring your own questions, but we want to see if you can answer some of these. So we'll talk fishing too. If you guys got anything you want to talk about, let's just say hello to Eddie Hudson, Warren Barnes, Cranking and Yanking. Doc Holliday, good seeing you today. Come up to the shop and had a good conversation with him. Jim Wright, Joshua David, Brandon Dunford. The hypothetical would you rather 7-pound spot was caught.
Oh, boy.
Woo.
Do tell, Brandon.
Do tell. I'd like to know who did that.
Story
And
time.
Zeke, how you doing? So got Alex and I got Tony with me, and then I got Tim in the background there. So all the guys here. What's up, Nathan Owen? So we're just going to have some fun now. If any of you guys are watching the Braves game, hey, keep me up to date on the score. That's the one thing that bothers me is when the Braves are on and I'm up here talking
Are they
fishing.
at 500 yet?
Not yet, but they're close. They're close. They're getting there. What's up, Tracy Coker? So anyway, let's go ahead and take care of our fine sponsors before we go any further with the program right there. So, of course, we always start off with Trent and the guys over at Sonar Pros. And there we go. Come on, here it's going to come.
Yeah, this mouse is not.
Is it the mouse?
It's the mouse.
All right, listen, it's my fault. It's my fault. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. I took the other mouse home and forgot to bring it back. So we're working on backup. But anyway, Sonar Pros, the official sonar installer of the Live Well, 770-530-4505. Guys, I tell you every week, every episode, if you want your electronics done right, take it where the pros take theirs, and that's Trent and the guys over at Sonar Pros. And tell them when you do that you heard about it on FNGO, so we appreciate those. And then we got Kevin Underwood with Lipsticker Fishing, 678-459-8419, Kevin at lipstickerfishing.com. Check out his Patreon, patreon.com/lipstickerfishing. And guess what, Alex? Kevin sent me a message today. He wants me to come on one of his lives.
Let's do it.
So maybe the next live I might be on there, and y'all can see how bad I do fish.
We'll watch you. I'll get in trouble at work.
Yeah, hey, listen, that's why I'm there.
Make two of us.
Yeah, for sure. And, of course, we got our buddies over at Evolve Rod Sleeves, the finest rod sleeve on the market at evolvefishing.com or here at Fish North Georgia. You can check them out. They float, got all the safety features, and best of all, them hooks do not stay hooked in them. And you want to protect that investment, all these expensive rods with the best, and that's Evolve Fishing. And, of course, the Money Saver Lure Retriever. I sold several of them today. You know how it is, expensive baits. And with these tariffs, hey, they might be getting even more expensive because Lord knows everything comes from overseas these days, with the exception of a few. But if you do get hung, you want the best plug knocker on the market, and that is the Money Saver Lure Retriever. Now, if you are on the Lake Allatoona area and you want to fish with a legend, I highly recommend you go with Mr. Bill Payne. Bill Payne's Guide Service, 706-280-2305. Not only does he do Allatoona, seasonal smallmouth trips, but he also does electronic trips as well. So if you want your sonar set up extremely, extremely correct, that's the best way to put it, correct, go with Bill Payne, and he'll do that for you. Love that guy right there. And, of course, our buddy Brooks Anderson on Lake Lanier, Brooks Anderson Fishing. Check out his YouTube, Brooks Anderson Fishing as well. Book a trip with him. Lake Lanier spotted bass is his specialty. All right, where they're at, why they're there, how to catch them. If you got a younger angler, in fact, check out, he posted, it was today or yesterday on his Facebook page. He had a young angler on his boat. And I'm telling you what, Brooks absolutely is great with them, and he loves them. So check him out. Some good people right there. And speaking of good people, we got our buddies Fishers of Hope. They've got a tournament this weekend up on Lake Chatoog. And check out their Facebook page for more details. But their mission is to glorify God, be servants of his word, and bring those in need to peace and hope that only he can bring. If you want to reach out to him, do it on Facebook or email them at fishersofhopeministry@gmail.com. Absolutely fantastic people.
Great people.
Great people. And, of course, behind me, we got our buddies at Turner Tire in Jasper, Georgia, 706-253-3339. That's where I take my tires. They do tires and alignment. Great family-owned business. Great family-owned business. In fact, I just took a trailer tire up there for Clint for his boat, and they got right on it. And I'm telling you, just rocking the crew up there, superb people. And that's the kind of people you want to do business with. So we appreciate Turner Tire. And then, of course, if you've got a business and you want to help grow, want some help growing it, you can advertise right here on the Live Well, and we will see what we can do, put something together for you, whether it's social media or whatever, to help your business get in front of the eyeballs that you want it. And the good thing about the Live Well and the people that listen to it, I'm telling you, they're some of the most loyal viewers out there, and they really do listen to us when we say, "Hey, check this out, try this, do this." I promise you, you'll get your business in front of the right eyes. So just reach out to me, Danny, at fngo.com, and we'll see what we can do for you. And of course, follow FNGO Fish North Georgia on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, of course, YouTube. If you're watching tonight, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. That actually does help a lot, you know. And so I got my buddy Gilbert here tonight. Gilbert is Claire's fish, and she wanted Gilbert to be on TV. But Claire, come here. Come here, Claire. You're getting ready to be on TV right here, honey. I want you to look right there. So Claire's in the, third grade? And her boyfriend is Elijah. And they're going to be married. They already got their marriage plans, right? I appreciate you letting me put Gilbert on camera tonight. You want him back? Can I keep him here for the whole show? All right, there you go. Perfect. So anyway, all right, let's get back to the comment section. And so what we did, again, we'll talk about fishing. All you guys want. So if you got questions about what's going on, we'll talk about that. Guys been on the water. And Paul B., plug knocker, why does that sound dirty? Because you're a Yankee, man. That's what. Braves up 1-0. Appreciate it, Marvin. Jim Wright, if a front is sitting on top of your lake, what would be your plan? So, hey, before we get to the trivia, we'll go to that question. Guys, you got a front right on top of your lake. What you guys doing?
Moving slow.
Slow it down a little bit? Yeah. I mean, how much – and you kayak guys are a little different.
I was sitting under a storm last night, and it was a ghost town.
It was a ghost town. Fishing and all the fish weren't biting and everything.
You couldn't find them.
Couldn't find them. But do you think that was because the storm was going on, or a front had moved in? You don't know?
I don't know.
You don't know. Hey, listen. What about you, Tony?
I'm with Alex. I'm probably going to slow down a little bit. If it's sitting right on top of me, a little pre-front may be different, but if it's sitting right on top, I think you're going to have to slow down a little bit. I just think that it's going to be slow going. Especially if you got a little bit of barometric pressure change, I think it's going to make a difference. Oh, cranking and yanking. Warn me when there are children present. We ain't going to do that. So, and Warren Barnes has a good thing. Sal Pinto has been a guest on this show quite a few times. He is my favorite Yankee. And he developed something while he was fishing the ABA Nationals to where one of his eyes, and I don't know the full details of it, but one of his eyes kind of like froze. And now the other eye was doing it, and so he's got double vision. I know he had to go to the hospital or something. Wow. I haven't got an update on that, but yeah, keep Sal in your thoughts and your prayers and everything. And you know, he'll pull through, I'm sure. We hope it's not nothing serious at all. So Tim, front, right overhead. What are you doing?
Probably staying put.
Like not moving around a lot, or staying at home?
No, well, if I'm already out there, you're in it, so just stick with it. But probably going to stay put. I'm a firm believer in the barometric pressure and its effect on fish because I've seen it happen. Okay, so a front being right overhead, what does that do to the fish? It's probably going to push them deep. Push them deep a little bit. And deep doesn't mean deep water. They're going to go down in whatever water column they're at. They're going to hit, they're going to get away from it. They're going to go down the bottom. So 5 foot deep, they're down 5 foot deep. Yeah. Don't think you got to run out to the middle of the lake, but it's like they're going to run deep, or if they're on a ledge, they may move and spin off to the next, like down the ledge somewhat. Right. Just to get away from it. Okay, good answer. Nathan Owens went fishing on Hartwell today and got skunked for the first time in a minute. They're probably in that post-spawn funk, I would say, because the elites were there just a couple weeks. They got beat up by the elites too. Yeah, they got beat up and all that. But hey, Nathan, just give it a day or two. They'll be right back. Jeremy Conkright, need to make a mold of that trout and make a swim bait out of it. I'll tell you what, listen, for sure. It could almost be like a damn it doll. You know what a damn it doll is? Have you ever seen a damn it doll? Hit somebody with it? No, you just get mad instead of cussing. You just hit it. Somebody makes you mad. So, but yeah, hey, we might do that. Now, Greenback Tactical Hunters. Is Chatuga actually going down next year for repairs to the dam? I've not heard that about Chatuga, but I did hear some people talking about Blue Ridge. I don't know that to be true. I tell you who would know, though. If you want to find out who would know, message Kaz Anderson on Facebook. Absolutely. Kaz Anderson is on Lake Chatuga all the time. And if I had a question about Chatuga and really wanted an answer and something like that, I actually think that that's who I would reach out to, and he would probably know. So don't really know the answer to that question. Speaking of Chatuga, I'm supposed to fish the tournament Sunday or Saturday with Fishers of Hope, but I don't know that I'll make it. But
if you can't make the tournament, you can at least donate a little bit to it. So
That's right.
That's what I did. If I make it, I make it. If I don't, it's kind of a drive for me, but I'm going to try to make it.
Yeah, I hope you do.
Yeah, if nothing else, make a donation or just pay the entry fee.
Pay the entry fee.
Because Tony makes sure that money goes where it's supposed to.
100%. That's what I'm saying. He's good people you can trust. Do fronts or weather really matter anymore with forward-facing sonar?
Yes.
I would say yes, because the fish are still going to be they're not going to be reacting to that forward-facing sonar. They're going to be reacting to the front. So that pressure, like Tim said, in his mind, he thinks they go down a little bit.
Yeah,
deep.
you still got to find them.
Yeah,
and so got to make them eat it.
They do.
Forward-facing sonar doesn't make the fish eat your bait.
Right.
No, it's frustrating.
Really? To some people, it does. That's news to me. If you listen to popular opinion from some people,
you just got on Uncle Randy's bad list.
No, I didn't say his name.
All I said was Uncle Randy.
Uncle Randy. It could be Randy Quaid.
Right.
It could be Randy Quaid. But I do think it does matter just in the way the fish act. But with forward-facing sonar, you will be able to diagnose that a lot quicker. 100% on that. So here's what I did for the trivia questions. And guys, listen. Guy B, let's talk about that real quick. Georgia boys are looking good at the Fork. Paul Marks.
Yes, they were.
And Emil. I think Emil's in 13th.
I didn't get a
13th, 14th, he ended up. Paul Marks is like tied for 5th. Did any of you guys get to see the Bass put it out, and I shared it to the Fish North Georgia group page. Emil caught a 813 today. But when he hooked it, though, he was like, that's a 10-pounder, dude. That's a 10-pounder, and he's reeling it in and all. He's like, don't jump. He got it in there. And what's weird about this tournament, too, and guys in the comment section, you definitely can correct me on this because I caught it halfway through. I think that lake has got a slot limit. And so they've got a guy on each boat with an official scale, and they're weighing them and letting them go right there unless they are a certain length.
It's got to be 24 inches before you can bring 24. I think it's over 24 inches. You can bring it to the scales for like a big fish.
Yeah.
That's a big fish.
Well, so that was the thing because they were measuring Emil's and it was right at 24. And the guy goes, this one's going to the picnic, baby. And they put it in the live well and all that. So, but it was a tank. Yeah. It was a tank. Doc Holiday says, I prefer a falling pressure to rising pressure fishing. Absolutely. That is pre-front. Yeah. Then the front comes through 100%. Adam Mathis, he's got an answer to this about Chatuge. So let's read this. They are having public hearings on Chatuge now. Apparently damage to the spillway. Business owners fighting against drawing it down 10 foot or further than normal winter pool for 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, I mean,
whoa!
Dam repairs aren't quick. I mean, they don't do them quick. So if
you don't want them to do, you really don't want nobody to work on a dam.
You don't want them messing that up.
So. Yeah, 3 to 5 years. Wow, that's well. So, but having public hearings on it, so I guess they haven't decided yet. Steve Pinkston, pimping nuts in Mississippi, driving home now. Yeah, I saw your Facebook post. Listen, Steve's nuts are good nuts. I'm telling you, if you can get your hands on them, you need to get some of them. They're great. They're fantastic. Jordan Patino, hey, I came in earlier. Appreciate talking to you, dude. Hey, other than you flipping a bird there in your picture right there, other than that, but listen, you're always welcome to come up here to the shop and talk. We appreciate it. And
Jordan says everybody's number one.
Yeah, everybody's number one is what he's saying. So you're always welcome. That goes for any of you guys. We got chairs right here. That's what they're for. Come on in, sit down. We'll talk about anything.
If I go to a different tackle shop, that's the first thing I look at now after we said that on the show. It's been a long time ago. If you can't trust a tackle shop that doesn't have chairs.
I know.
You said that on
That's not a bad concept.
A long time ago.
Well, a lot of tackle shops, they want you in, want you out. They don't, and it's not that they're giving bad customer service. It's just not their business model. Here, we don't make money. So, hell, you might as well come sit and talk for a while right there for sure. Jeremy Conkright, they drawed Cumberland down in Kentucky 20 foot for 10 years, and it was the best thing that ever happened to it. I can see because then you get all that stuff growing up on the banks and everything. Didn't affect the summer crowd or anything. Hey, listen, makes sense to me. Gone Fishing with Ed. Good evening, everyone. How are you, buddy? Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, what's up? Gone Fishing with Ed's a good guy, man. He's got some good media.
Does he?
Yes, sir. Everybody needs to follow him.
Follow him on YouTube?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, there you go. There's a plug for that. All right, so here's what I did. Now, again, you keep bringing your in the comment section. If you got a legit question, fishing, bring it on. We'll try to answer it. But what I did for trivia tonight is I went to ChatGPT. and I said, give me 100 or so, 150 or whatever it is, questions, trivia questions about the bass fishing industry, bass fishing in general. And so I'm gonna throw out some of these questions, and I want you guys to see if in the comment section if you guys can answer them. See if the guys here who do not know the questions, they haven't read the questions at all, see if they can answer them and just see how much we really do know about bass fishing. So you guys ready for the first question? I'm just going to pick one out of the box right there.
Yes, so.
All right, this is here's a softball one. And again, these are Chat GPT questions. Why do pros use leader lines with braid? Very easy. Jump on it. Why do pros use it? Why does anybody use a leader line with braid?
Why I use a leader.
Okay, why do you use it?
Well, number one, they can't see it as well.
Okay, that's part of it.
I don't have to cut my line. Like, it saves your spool.
Okay, there you go. Tim?
Same with him. It allows you more action on your lure.
Yeah.
Your braid can last forever because you're only be taking 6-8 inches at a time when you put a new leader on it.
That's right.
And if you get hung up, you don't lose all that scrap because you know how braid is. It's not going to break.
And
it's going to bury and everything.
Yeah,
and
if you use cast braid. So in the comments section, and I'll get to you second, Tony. Transparency, save money. Fish don't see it. Braid lasts forever. Line twist helps the line sink. Gives you a little stretch, and they can't see it. Now, Tony, do you have anything to add to those?
My biggest thing was they can't see it. I mean,
yeah.
And also, I back my reels with braid and then use a leader. So
here's what Chat GPT said. Now it does say the invisibility in clear water, so not being able to see it, for better abrasion resistance. Now I wouldn't have thought of that, but that's what Chat GPT says.
Well, I think you get up there with zebra mussels, it cuts braid pretty good. So maybe that's what they're saying.
Maybe up there. Okay. All right. So there you go. So you guys, hey, listen, you guys played very well with that. You threw your answers out quick. I like it. That's what we need from you guys tonight. All right. I need a pen. Will you run up there on my desk and get me a marker so I don't ask the same question twice? This one's going to be under techniques and tactics. Yeah, braid doesn't like rock or my reels. So it is what it is. All right. According to Chat GPT, the best soft plastic color for muddy water. The best soft plastic color for muddy water. And I will give Tony you that first.
Oh gosh.
What is the best soft plastic color for muddy water?
Something white, maybe? White?
You say white. Okay. All right.
Black and blue, baby.
Black and blue. Tim?
White and chartreuse all day long.
White and chartreuse. Okay, so out there in the comment sections, we got green pumpkin, red, chartreuse, white. Interesting that white is not on there, boys.
Wow.
June. Okay, pull up Cranking and Yanking.
June bug.
And the George Thornton. Yeah, so but Cranking and Yanking said it first. He put June bug, best color for anything. Craftmaster put it there. George Thornton put it there.
They're not wrong.
According to Chat GPT, the best soft plastic color for muddy water is black. And it should have said colors, but it said color. That was the question. It gave me 3. Black and blue, June bug, and chartreuse-based colors.
Okay.
So we still got green pumpkin is the only color, David Weaver. 100%. I like that. But June bug kind of surprised me in muddy water. Black and blue is like a staple. You tie a jig. Everybody wants a jig in muddy water like that. Tim, what do you think about the June bug?
Well, you remember that one video we watched about what fish see?
That's where I was hoping you was going.
You knew I was going there.
I did.
There's a video out. Was it Steve Rogers Outdoors? And you go watch it. It's about how bass see. And according to his little findings, the only color that doesn't change to a bass is roughly June bug.
It does not change.
It does not change. It doesn't shade very much in any direction. It pretty much stays June bug, oddly. And we all use it. We all throw it. It catches fish anywhere, anytime.
It does. And that was where I was hoping you were going to go, because we have 3 sets of color cones in our eyes. Bass only have 2.
Right. They have green and red. They do
green and red. And
they do not possess. They only have green and red. They do not have blue. So anything in the spectrum of blue, according to science, they can't see.
Yeah, and Tim, keep the camera on you. Now, what did they say according to that video we watched about chartreuse. We see it as very bright yellow. What does a bass see it as?
It's a neon white almost. It just literally, instead of being white, it glows.
So let's see in the color. Sand color is money in the winter mud, Aaron Young said. Now, I do know in the shop we only sell sand really during the winter.
Yeah.
But we are on clear lakes. We don't have really muddy. I mean, Allatoona up some creek arms might get a little mud, maybe Notley. But Lanier doesn't get muddy. But we sell sand, interesting enough, in the wintertime more than anything. Now, gone fishing with Ed, I toss a June bug worm on a shaky head year round. Maybe I should start doing that.
Not a bad plan.
No, but I like Doug Phillips's comment right here. The Bill Dance Color Selector.
Yeah,
Selector. Now, let me ask you, has any of you guys ever used?
No.
I've never even seen one in person.
Nope, never seen one. I mean, not in person, no.
Not in person?
Definitely not.
But listen, Bill Dance is the ultimate salesman.
He is.
And there was quite a few of them units sold back in the day. You just dip that thing down and it read the pH and all that, and you need to throw this and that and that. So anyway, Darian Moss, color don't matter as long as it's green pumpkin.
There you go.
All right, and again, this wasn't on the list of Chat GPT, but you guys in the comment section can say that. I know some of you are going to say Junebo, but you get one color, soft plastics for the rest of your life. What color is it going to be? Start off with you, Tony.
Watermelon red.
Watermelon red.
Yep.
Boy,
For where I fish, I can usually catch fish on watermelon red.
watermelon red. Don't matter if it's a lizard, if it's that's the one color you get.
That's one color I'm going with.
All right, Alex.
You got to do that to me. I'd probably go black with blue flake
Really? That's interesting. Why would you go with a darker color?
because I can get a Senko and just catch fish on it anywhere.
Is that anywhere? Hey,
Anywhere.
listen, if it works, right? All right, Tim, what about you?
Green pumpkin, blue flash.
Green pumpkin blue flash. I wonder who makes that color.
A lot of people make that color.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So black, green pumpkin candy red.
So why blue though? You just said
Still
that bass
another
can't see
sour patch.
blue.
I have no idea. I think it does
But I can see it.
I think it's more of a prism thing to it. It makes that instead of it just being green pumpkin, since it's got the blue flash on it, it's a little bit metallic. I think it actually makes it glimmer a little bit, which draws their attention more. Because I totally agree with the whole thing. I don't think they see blue like we see it, but the shading part they definitely can pick up on.
Remind me never to put a mouthful of Sour Patch Kids in before I put my dip in.
You're back
At
to
least
Sour
everybody
Patch.
knows what gummies. I mean, as soon
Yeah.
as I put
It's
the
not
mics
them
hot,
kind of gummies.
the first words on this podcast was something about, man, I shouldn't eat those gummies or something like that.
I promise you guys, it's Sour Patch Kids. I'm gonna put my backer in here in a minute, but I just want a couple more. Them things
The
are like
Munchkins
addictive.
brought
so
Sour
good.
Patch Kids.
I'm seriously like I'm gonna have a sugar rush, whatever.
Cinnamon purple.
Yeah, that's what I was like. David Weaver says, I guess I give up worm fishing and have to stick to a white fluke, which is fine. That's a soft plastic. That works.
Can't go wrong.
Cinnamon purple, sour grape for Warren Barnes. I will tell you this. That cinnamon purple and that cinnamon black flake Yamamoto, if I could only pick one color jig trailer for the rest of my life, that Yamamoto cinnamon black flake is absolutely money, and it goes with every single jig out there.
Yep.
You can if you want a little color, dip it in the chartreuse and all that. But I've caught a lot of fish on that. Well, I say a lot. I don't jig fish that much, but when I do, that's what I throw. Craftmaster. Interesting right here. When you use the blue flake, it disappears and gives the bait texture or depth.
Good concept.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Craftmaster, there's no way for me to check and make sure that's correct, but I believe you. I believe you tonight there, Craftmaster. Doc Holliday. Now, Doc came up here today. He's a little older fella. Him and Kevin, about the same age. So when he says back in the day, he means back in the day right there. John Powell said, though, any color as long as it's blue. Doesn't Dana with FCP Fishing throw a lot of blue?
He does.
He likes blue.
He
And that's on Lake Lanier.
Dana makes a lot of his own baits, and if you watch a lot of his stuff, which I highly suggest, he's a great content maker. A lot of his stuff are dark blue, light blue.
Okay. Aaron Young. Pull that out there. Danny, saw your muskie show last night in my neck of the woods. Great Falls Lake that the Collins. Oh, Great Falls Lake that the Collin, I guess, goes in and goes out of is the oldest lake in Tennessee. Hey, dude, listen, and I fished that. You kind of noticed that lake was a little muddy because it had been raining in Tennessee a few days before. They say that river is normally like this crystal blue That's just amazing. And I didn't get the experience it there, but I absolutely love that. And muskies, dude, I tell you what, that's a ferocious strike right there. All right, let's jump on. We're going to jump around here. So how about this in behavioral biology? Behavioral biology. Since we talked about pressure a little while ago, I just noticed this question. How do bass behave under high pressure fishing? How do bass behave under high pressure fishing? What are your guys' thoughts out there? Okay, I'm out. What's she talking about? Why you out cranking and yanking?
Yeah, where are you going?
Huh?
You might have to go. I don't know.
I don't know. He's out. Tim, high pressure. What do you think bass do?
I think they go into kind of a holding pattern.
Okay.
I think it's not necessarily knowing that we're fishing after them. It's just the activity in their environment causes them to kind of pull back and be more cautious because they are predators. So something else is in their environment, boats, a lot of noise, water, lures hitting the water. So I think they just tend to be a little bit more withdrawn.
Oh, he said he was out because I said biology. But Jim Wright says lock down and all that. So Craftmaster says go deeper unless it's super cloudy. YouTube user, equilibrium is jacked up. Okay, what about you, Alex? What do you think bass do in high pressure? Fronts pass through high pressure. Lots of times that is with bluebird skies.
Okay, you're talking weather pressure. I thought you were talking
Weather pressure.
Okay. They get lethargic, man. They're gonna slow down. They're gonna cling tight to cover, go deep, whatever that fish does whenever it needs to get away from something or go hide. That's what it's gonna do.
Tony, what's your answer?
It's kind of along the same lines. I think of it. I don't know where I heard this at, but imagine how you would feel if you had tons of pressure on you and you felt that immediate pressure change. You don't feel like really doing a whole lot. You just feel kind of just slow,
You're bloated,
methodical. Everything you do is kind of well thought out. Now, getting a bait in front of them, it's going to have to be, I think, something slow. So I think they're just going to hunker down to the bottom or whatever piece of cover they're on, and they're going to stay put.
Okay. Will you do me a favor one more time?
What you want?
Will you go turn my open sign off? I got to looking over there. I'm like,
hey, we might make a sale while we're here.
Yeah, we'll make a sale. Huh? Come on up. I'll say something.
Are you talking fishing pressure or barometric?
No, barometric pressure,
Oh,
high pressure.
I went off down a different rabbit hole.
Hey, look, it sounded right.
Well, yeah, that would be my answer to fishing pressure.
Right.
Barometric pressure is real simple. If the barometer's up, the fish go down. If the barometer goes down, they come up and roam more.
Okay.
You can literally watch it happen on the lake if you just pay attention to it.
Here's what ChatGPT says. They become conditioned. They're more wary. They avoid loud or aggressive presentations. So nothing loud or aggressive. So if you read in the viewer section right there, tighten the cover, go deeper, lethargic, all that. So I guess too, more wary. So they're a little more spooky, according to ChatGPT, which scans across the interweb to find these answers. So that works. Let's see. C. Gray, who is watching from New England tonight. Appreciate you, buddy. Solid blue jig on overcast days is money. Solid blue jig on over. Now, C. Gray, is that for smallmouth? What kind of bass are you talking about right there? Pull up Brad Silver's thing right there.
Which one?
Brad Silver's.
Okay.
Now, I saw something about this the other day because of Tim Wyatt. He posted this, Brad, you might have been on Carter's when this happened.
Yep, he says Carter's.
Okay, he was on Carter's when this happened. Did y'all know that Georgia doesn't have a safe harbor law for inland waters? Got caught in a storm last Friday night. All of us ran to the marina at Carter's. Owners ran us out along with the DNR.
Wow.
Now, I know the name of the marina was put, and you're free to put it in the comment section, but I know it was put in the Facebook post. And I'm just going to tell you as a business owner, that's a terrible look.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But what I did not know was that we don't have that law. I mean, if I got a dock and it is lightning and thunder coming up, and what kind of business owner or human being doesn't allow people just for safety alone to pull in a dock if it's open slip and there's not a customer boat in there?
Right.
For
Allow people
45
shelter.
minutes or an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So
30 years ago, you might have got away with that. Nowadays with social media, you're fixing to get dragged across the.
Well,
That's just
it's ridiculous. Now, but what surprises me is what he said right there, along with the DNR.
Yeah, that's wild.
I
take cover under people's docks all the time.
Unfortunately, DNR has to uphold whatever law, whether it be private property, whatever. So they're kind of in that catch.
That's true. That's true.
The business owner to do that, that's kind of dirty.
Well, I mean,
the DNR probably wouldn't have ran them off without the owner
Correct.
there.
yeah. Oh, but I mean, if I was now, granted, you're right. DNR probably had their hands
Yeah,
tied a little bit.
Yeah.
But I would have been, if I was DNR, I went, dude, the storm's going to pass in just a little bit.
Yeah.
Can they not stay for a few minutes?
That's what I would have done. I would
And
have
you're a
probably
cop.
scolded them. Yeah.
You're a cop.
Yeah, I would have scolded them. I'd be like, "That's pretty dirty of you.
Yep.
Make somebody go back out in a storm just because they're seeking shelter."
Yeah.
I mean, that's
We've all done it.
that's very inhuman for any of you people that do it out there. Karma will bite you at some point. You will need another human's help, and they will shun you.
And so that's the marina on Carter's, though. And I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, it's just dirty.
But still, you know what? If somebody's watching this and the marina owner, just, dude, have a little bit of compassion. Sometimes safety is worth more than $1 bill, and you ain't making no money if that slip was open. So how the hell are you losing any money?
It's not like they're tying off there for the week. They're there for just the time of the storm.
Well, Brad Silver says DNR was not the problem, but we need to get the law passed. And you would think in this world where it is about safety, and we got, Lord knows you can't get a cup of coffee at McDonald's now and all this and that something like that would be, hell, you don't need a law. That's just common sense and decency.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
It's just
allowing another human to seek shelter in a storm.
It's like if you came up to my house and it's just like tornado outside, I'm like, nah, dude, you got to stay outside.
Yeah, just stand out there and get struck by lightning and I'll watch.
What kind of human being is that? So whoever runs that marina up in Carter's, I'm gonna get in trouble. But from Fish, North Georgia, you can kiss our
Send
ass.
it,
That's
yeah.
wrong.
Amen.
That's wrong. You know what? And I don't wish ill on any business, but man, I hope you get an ass itch that lasts for about a week.
We were on a guided trip at Lanier for striper, and a pontoon broke down. They needed to tow back. The guy looked at us and he goes, "Hey, it's y'all's dime." I'm like, dude, you better tow them folks back. That's the kind of stuff that comes back to bite you later on in life.
Yeah.
You tow them back. That's just being a decent human.
Yeah. And Brad says it was all about insurance liability. And from a business standpoint, I kind of get that. But you know what?
But if they're already seeking shelter and you put them back out, what kind of liability is that?
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking. It was like, okay, I was safe.
Yeah.
Until you forced me back out into danger.
That's a civil suit.
There's some ambulance chasers out there be all over that one.
Oh,
yeah. And that's wrong. I understand it, but we are in a sue happy culture.
Yeah.
But a little common sense can prevent 90% of this world's problems.
Right.
And I think that right there would have
that word reasonable.
Crankin said they would have had to carry them out. David Weaver said never had an issue on Lanier, slipped in plenty of docks that were empty and never had an issue. Me neither, but Doc Holliday says he got ran out of Gainesville Marina 40 years ago under the same conditions. I'm sorry. I don't know. I disagree with that whatsoever. I just, and
it's just a bad practice.
Yeah, dude. The hell with your insurance liability.
It costs $0 to be a decent human.
Amen.
And you know what? Your business ain't. I realize you want your business, and I realize you got to protect your business, but still, that's like me just telling somebody you can't come in the store. You can sit on the front porch. You can't come in the store while a thunderstorm is lightning. I just wouldn't do that. So, what's up, Robleski?
Rob, what's up?
All right, so let's go to the next question. All right, here's a question for me. Now, here's the thing with Chat GPT, guys. It might not be correct for everyone, but it's a good, it's close. It's in the ballpark on that. The best hook size and type for wacky rigging a Senko. What does Chat GPT say is the best size hook for rigging a Senko wacky rig? Tony?
1/0.
Okay, Tony says 1/0. You ain't reading the answers, are you?
No.
Okay.
That's just what I use.
1/0.
1/0. Okay, Tim?
A 1/0.
A 1/0.
Yeah.
You guys in there, I guess many of you guys throw a wacky right there. Size 1, Andrew Blair Fishing. Listen, 1/0 gone. Number 2, Craftmaster. VMC Nico size 1. Number 3 Eagle Claw wide gap is what I use.
Hey,
Okay,
yeah.
now I am the purveyor of the wacky worm there.
I like the Hayabusa
Huh?
hooks.
You like the
They're
what?
nice. They're called Hayabusa.
Yeah,
yeah, those
They have
are
like a
nice.
crazy
Hayabusa.
looking bend in them.
Yeah.
They
I
work really
tried
well.
them. I don't like them.
No, I like them for the Nico too.
You like them for the Nico?
Jim Wright says a 5-aught weightless, 2-aught weighted.
Good Lord, Jim. He's in largemouth cunt. You know.
He pours a weighted wacky that he's giving me some of, and I don't remember what the size was, but it's definitely closer to the 2 than the 5.
Now, so Titsworth is Steve Titsworth is in Tennessee, 4-aught, but Rob says a 1-aught VMC. Doc Holliday 1-aught circle hook. Now I go with the smallest hook I can possibly get away with, and so I go with the number 1. And I mean, because I don't want them to see it. Now I will say this: you ain't boat flipping nothing with a number 1.
No,
But
don't
you're not.
do it.
According to ChatGPT, and you guys never fish a wacky Aaron Young like that, dude. You need to. John Aldred, if he's watching tonight, he is a big swim bait guy, and he knows I fish a wacky. Ask him what he's been slaying bass on here lately.
yeah, he said
He's been slaying them. All right. According to ChatGPT, the best hook size for a wacky rigged Senko is a size 1 or 1-aught finesse wide gap hook or weedless wacky hook. So number 1 or 1-aught. But you guys up there with the 5-aught and the 4-aught,
yeah.
you know, what's that, Richie Rock and Roll? What did Gone Fishing? 6 cents 1-aught on sale from Walmart. Grabbed a bunch for 50 cents a pack. Dude, you can't beat
Good
that.
score.
Now, cranking and yanking, interesting. He also uses a 16-ounce bullet weight on his wacky, so I can go Texas quickly if you want to. I guess that, but you got, whatever. And then Andrew's up there says Gamakatsu B10 S Stinger number 2. Y'all like a NASCAR like that. I mean, they know, fishermen know their stuff down to like the numerals, the barcode, everything. John Aldred, I'm here. Let's not talk about me throwing a wacky rig. But
Hey.
John, I want you to comment again. Are you catching or are you not catching not only bass, but big bass? Good sized bass.
I mean, look at his thumbnail.
Yeah.
Look at the thumbnail
that's
that's right
swim
there
bait
on this
fish.
comment.
Well, I mean, you had, what was it, a mullet angler in here? That's what he throws. He catches them. I mean, it's definitely a good bait. You just gotta
Yeah.
throw it.
Ron Swinford, good evening. I'm sorry I'm late. Was on the phone with mom and dad. That's always more important. Now, Ron, you had a question about the JC Elite reels or Christie reels that are put out by Spro. I've gotten I've got the cranking one, and you want to know what my opinion was. I got the high speed one, which I think is 8.1, and then I got the one that's 7.3, 7.4 right there. I absolutely love those reels by Spro. Some of the smoothest casting reels. The one thing I had to get used to, though, was the big handle. It was a little bit different, but once I got used to it, I probably will end up replacing every bait caster I got with them.
Really.
Yeah, I prefer a bigger handle. It's more leverage. It's
Yeah.
easier to fight them with it.
Yeah, that I'm telling you, that JC reel by Spro is it's legit.
Which one was on the cranking rod they sent?
That was like that 5.1 or 5.3. It's a real slow one. That's a JC.
Oh, yeah. I remember throwing it for, we had it playing with it at the Toys for Tots tournament. That thing was smooth. I liked
It is smooth, and I tell you what,
quality.
yeah, it is, and it's got good drag system.
What's the
with it.
price point?
I want to say that so there's 2 models. There's a 9 Baron, and then there's a next level up. That's
Right.
11 Baron. I got the 9 Baron. I want to say 130,
That's not bad.
130.
No, it's not bad at all for
I've got that cranking one, Ron, and I'm telling you what, I love it. But I also use it on as a jerkbait rod. I got it on that rock crawler rod by Spro as well. So I'm telling you that. And I want to say this. Speaking of Spro, I'm going to give this away too for the question of the night when we get to it. This is their new cover. I want to make sure that's a cover jumper.
Oh, is that the chatterbait?
Chatterbait. Now, here's the reason why I'm going to give this thing away. Because everybody, what is the gold standard of
Jackhammer.
chatterbait bladed jigs? It's a jackhammer.
Yep.
Mhm.
I gave this to a couple of people. I said, I want you to go throw it. Have you thrown yours yet? One of the things people say about the jackhammer is within the first crank, you feel the blade.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you what, Spro has got one right here with the first crank. The blade is thumping.
I just pick up my rod and I can feel the blade.
The
thumping on it.
blade
Really?
thumps. And here's why I like it better than a jackhammer. And I know that's sacrilegious to some of you people. First of all, the way that I guess you want to say where the blade is attached to the head, it's at a different angle. And this thing is designed to come over cover. What's the one thing you can't throw a chatterbait in?
You can't throw it in cover.
Now, I'm not saying go throw this in the absolute nasty, gnarliest blowdown that's out there.
Right.
But it will. And the best thing about it is where it's far superior to a jackhammer, it's just got a Gamakatsu hook on the end of it that is not going to go, not going to go dull. I'm just telling you guys, listen, I'm not a chatterbait guy, but I actually, the last time I went fishing, I had a jackhammer and I had the Spro, and I throwed them. Huh?
Andrew said it needs the MRE. You've seen it with the MRE on it.
It does. And that does come with this little trailer.
He ain't lying.
It does come with this little trailer in the thing.
I need to send him one.
No, not the Thunder. I'm telling you guys, listen, jackhammer, Rob, I know you love a jackhammer. You need to throw the Spro. You need to give it a shot, because I'm going to tell you what, you're not going to be able to come back and say, well, it doesn't pick up as fast. It doesn't do this. This thing does everything a jackhammer does, and it's designed to come through cover a little bit better. Now, I'm just telling you guys, I don't ever pick up a product and brag about it unless I don't. I really don't.
I remember you doing it.
Well, I had my cousin throw one, and he is a jackhammer snob, and I said, throw it. He went out on Lanier and threw it, and he came back and look up the price.
They're $10 and some change,
so they're cheaper.
Yeah.
They're cheaper,
substantially cheaper.
Because what we're talking $15-$16 for a jackhammer.
Yeah, right. I mean, the last time I bought one, it was. I'm sure they've gone up a little bit since then.
I'm just telling you guys. So for a $5 difference, roughly $4 or $5, try the Spro and tell me. My cousin took it out, and I said, and he was like, the biggest problem with all the other ones is you have to give them a jerk to get the blade going. That's one of the big knocks on the slobber knocker and all that. You will not have a problem doing that with this cover jumper from Spro. And I'm going to give this one away. This is my personal one.
And it comes with a trailer.
It comes with a trailer, and you can put whatever. But I'm telling you guys, the jackhammer, that's real competition to the jackhammer.
The Spro's $10 and some change, cranking and yanking.
Yeah. John says the Spro spinnerbait's working great lately too. Comes through cover well, doesn't roll on its side when burning. Spro's coming out with some good stuff.
Hey, John, have you tried the Thumper?
Yeah, I need to get one.
That Spro Thumper in muddy water, is money.
It is.
It's money.
And I'm, Doc Holliday, FYI, Cast Braid is legit.
We've been telling you.
And I've been telling you guys that. And I'm not sponsored by Cast.
Same. Me neither.
It's stupid. But I'm telling you, that right there, that cover jumper from Spro, it's legit, dude. It is legit. And I wouldn't put my reputation on the line. But no, seriously, it really is good. All right, next question. Let's go to conservation and environmental questions. Let's pick out one. Okay, here's interesting. Let's get your guys' take on this one. What's the best practice for releasing a deep hooked bass? You catch a bass way down in the gullet, or close to it. What is the best practice for releasing a deep hooked bass? I'm going to start with you, Alex.
Take some forceps and go through the gills.
Trying to come up through. There's a way you can do that, and that helps be able to pop the hook out.
It helps a lot.
And I don't know if this is saying if it's actually in the gullet or real close to it. So we're just going to go with that. But Mountain Dew, Fizz, and Nathan, hey, listen, I understand that.
Yeah.
Mountain
Dew coagulates.
It does. It coagulates your daggum bloodstream too.
Yeah.
The water coagulates them really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really
I just
does.
try to keep them in the water as much.
Try to keep them in the water. What do you think, Tim? What's the best practice for releasing a deep hooked bass?
If you can't get the hook out, I have a long pair of wire cutters, and I will get as much of that hook. Like if it's already going down the gullet, I will pull on there and get as far down as I can and snip it. So there's only the smallest amount of hook left in them, and depending on the way the hook's made, it's going to rust out eventually.
Okay.
So they should survive.
Okay. What about you?
I'll be honest. I've been guilty of cutting the line, letting the hook ride, or the other way that I found that's really good about releasing them is release them to the grease. because
Eat them.
Yeah,
Well,
Right? Yeah. Don't waste them.
I get that. Let's see what our viewers put. Cut the line, let it ride. Get the hook out if possible. Otherwise, release it. I usually leave the hook in, let it go. Cut the line, Steve says. Let it rust, and best to cut the hook off. It'll disintegrate. Now, according to Jet,
Just make sure you get your soft plastics out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, don't leave
I
those
watched
in
a guy
there.
on Altoona. I was on a guide trip with a company guide trip last year, and going through the gills was really cool. I just haven't perfected that yet, but I will say he made it look like it was effort. He reached in there and it was out in a
Kevin
second.
can do it too.
Yeah,
Kevin's really good at it.
Yeah, I'm not
I got to
great
learn
at it.
that.
Ron says if you can get to the hook point, cut the line tie off and pull the hook out. If the hook point
Right.
is down the throat, so you can pull it through. Like Tim, I cut off as deep as possible. If it's going to die, fish tacos. According to Chat GPT, what's the best practice for releasing deep hooked bass? Cut the line at the hook and release. They often survive better than forceful removal. So pretty much everybody,
Yeah.
the real backwaters, fillet it. Absolutely, dude. Eat that joker right there.
I know I've seen fish with hooks coming out.
I saw a video. Yeah, these people with a catfish had a plastic coming out his butt.
Yeah.
They pulled it all out, still had the hook on it.
Mhm.
Wow.
All right, let's see if I can find another one right here. As of 2024,
Last year.
what's the entry fee for an elite Bass Elite Series tournament?
What in it? 10 grand?
You say 10 grand. Okay. Just give me your answers. Give me your answers.
I was thinking it was 5,000.
You got 5,000. What do you got, Tim?
I think it's 5.
All right, you guys in the comment section, I'll give you a second to throw your answers out there. This came from this section of, oh, hell, who the hell knows? Industry and professional fishing. So 5K. Ron Swinford says 2,500. Rob says 6. Jim Wright 3,500. The answer, according to Chat GPT, is $5,000.
That's a lot of money.
$5,000.
A
What?
lot of money to go fishing.
Yeah, but you can still win. Now, again, if any of these answers are wrong, guys, it's Chat GPT's fault.
Yeah, it's not
Now,
on
I
Fish North
wonder,
Georgia.
though, didn't they change it for this year?
Yeah, it's a 0 entry fee, but I think they got together and decided that each angler was going to put a certain amount in to have like a side pot, so to speak. So
Yeah.
So
That might be it.
getting
Again,
paid
we're going
more.
with Chat GPT right now. So, how about this? Let's see if you guys know the answer to this. What is contingency money in professional fishing? What is contingency money in professional fishing?
it's money paid if you're using a certain product, I believe.
Okay,
right?
what do you think?
I'm going to go with him because I don't even know what contingency means.
Alex is a hell of a guest. Tim, contingency money.
I think that is like if you're fishing a Skeeter boat, Skeeter's going to give you some money. If you're placing or winning or other brands,
Yeah.
going to give you a little bit of side money basically for
Right.
using their
Sponsor
product.
pay.
Yeah.
Sponsor dollars.
Kind of like that. And cranking and yanking, I thought they did away with all the entry fees. And Ron did. Listen, though, Chat GPT, hell, they changed it so many times. Chat GPT can't figure it out yet. So, coins to get into that marina restroom after the gas station's breakfast right there. That's what contingency money is. Do you know if you go to Europe, you got to pay to use toilets there?
Wow.
Yeah, every place I've been to, you got to pay. Money paid if you use a sponsored product. So there you go. That is it. Contingency money is bonus cash from companies if an angler uses their product and places high. So Bass Cat has them, or like a lot of the boat companies have. If you're the highest placing,
Yeah.
they use theirs, you get a little bonus check. Now, I only know it with bass boats. Is there any other companies that out there that
Garmin, I believe Garmin does, like ABT. I believe they have, I think it's Garmin that has a contingency program with them. And again, that's going off what I remember, but there's different ones, maybe Humminbird. There's different ones that have.
Yeah, but the boat manufacturers are the big ones.
Yep.
Right there. Okay, let's jump
And you
around.
can't just use any product, because I've got a Ranger and I don't qualify for contingency money because my Ranger's almost as old as I am. So
What's up, John G?
What's up, John?
Ron Swinford, how is it possible for that second tournament in a row fantasy fishing? He has the dead last guy in fantasy fishing, second tournament in a row.
I don't do
Listen,
fantasy.
I'm telling you what, it's a toss-up still right now. I think we look down, there's 25-pound bags on Fork down to like 42nd place or something like that. Crazy.
Well,
Oh,
last
yeah.
fish I saw caught today was almost a 10-pounder. It was not quite the end of the coverage, but it was a 10-pounder by Jay Shakir at I'm like, he had 31 and some change. So
yeah.
it,
I think Buddy Gross is leading. Am I correct on that? I think
he was right there with Jay. They
I
were
think
neck and neck.
Buddy's leading after today. How about this? Gear and equipment. So let's see what you guys think on this, because this is more of an opinion, and everybody's got one. But according to Chat GPT, what gear ratio reel is best for flipping? What gear ratio reel is best for flipping? Tim.
7.5 to 1.
All right.
8-1.
I was gonna say 7.5 or 8. He got one in quick. So
Okay, so Paul B. Yeah, okay, so he's leading. Buddy is leading with 33.9. Guy B says 8-1. Paul B says 7.5. Mike says 8-1. Craftmaster 7-3. Gone Wild, Gone Fishing with Ed 8-3-1. 7-2-1. Jim Wright. Robleski says 8. John says 8. According to Chat GPT, the best gear ratio reel for flipping is an 8-1-1 or higher for quick line retrieval after short pitches. So basically what they're saying is you catch up with your line real quick, make that short pitch, and you catch up. Now, Tim, you punch out there a little bit when we were at Gunnersville. What did you punch with? Do you remember?
7.5 to 1.
Could you tell a difference? I don't punch enough.
I can't really tell the difference. I just reel faster.
Okay, how about this? Can you really, when you're throwing a bait, I could see it if you're throwing a 5 something.
Right.
To a 7.4 or 8.
Right.
But can you tell when you're reeling in from a 7.4 to 8.1?
I personally can't.
Any of you guys? Isn't
That's
that
real
noticeable?
fast.
I've got an 8 and I've got a 7.5, which I throw mostly 7.5. I can tell a little bit just because I throw mostly 7.5. I can feel a little bit of a difference, but it's not enough to be that crucial.
Tim Wyatt, what's flipping? No doubt, dude. Like seriously, like I've never flipped in my life until we went to Gunnersville. And good Lord, we had that 5-pound weight on that booger going through those grass mats.
Well, when you grow up fishing in the swamps, you learn how to do that. And
that's right.
You learn how to do that and run a spinnerbait real quick.
Now, Michael Temples has a Revo 10-1 in this stupid fast. I had one of those, and it's at the bottom of Latham. And it is sitting on it was a brand new, what's that? Titanium. What's that company? Shit. I'll think about it here in a second. It's kind of local rods we used to sell. You remember, Tim?
I do not.
They got them at Country Sportsman store.
I can't remember.
I'll think of it a second. But anyway, pitching isn't flipping technically.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's
that is different, but
it is. FX. That's right, FX. So yeah, there's a brand new FX rod and a Revo reel at the bottom of Latham, and it's in the problem is it fell off the boat in the timber. So you couldn't go down there. Craftmaster, too high, you won't turn the handle on a good one. 7 minute 8 max. If you get it too fast, that's what he's saying right there. So, John D, it was your birthday today.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
He had a bunch of fish catches today.
Yeah, he did. He got some good ones.
Yeah, he had some good ones.
Well, there you go. We love you, John. So that's awesome. All right. How about this? According to Chat GPT, what rod action is ideal for crankbaits? What rod action is ideal for crankbaits? Tony, you start.
I throw medium heavy, but I can see going down to a medium.
Okay. Alex?
Action?
Yeah.
Moderate.
Okay.
moderate.
Moderate?
Yeah, sorry, I said medium heavy moderate.
So Michael says medium. Okay, well, let's see what the guys in the comment. Medium. Everybody's saying medium and all that. Medium fast. Well, I love how you guys are throwing out the answers there. It makes my job really easy. I knew we'd get the comment section involved tonight. That's why we did this.
Yes, sir.
Medium or medium moderate. Medium moderate. I can't, for some reason, I can't make that sound right tonight. According to Chat GPT, the best rod action for a crankbait is a moderate action fiberglass or composite rod to prevent pulling the hooks. Yep. So they threw in,
they got a little more in depth.
Mm-hmm. Chat GPT did well. Yeah, I didn't answer all that. So, but I mean, pretty much everybody's right there. And here's the thing that just irritates the daylights out of me about rod companies. One company's medium or medium light is not the same as the next company's, right, or their medium, medium heavy or whatever.
So it's the different blanks.
Yeah.
None of them are the same.
None of them. So when a guy calls up and he says, "What do you think about this? I want to rod in this." I'm like, "Well, I mean,
you got to find out who they get their blanks from.
It makes sense right there. They're never the same.
No.
I'm cheap. My Black Max works well. I still got a Black Max, and I tell you what, I took it down and filmed an episode of our TV show down in the Gulf with it, and it still works. It squeaked a little bit. I had to do a little bit of greasing on it, but you're right. It's never the same, and it is frustrating, and that's why you really, I not that I have a hard time, but people that order rods online, like I see it if you've got that rod and you want to order the same one again.
Yeah,
Right.
It's tough to order a rod online because you can't hold it in your hand.
Well,
and then the shipping is so expensive; it's outrageous to ship fishing rods.
I put out a video the other day asking for glide bait rod, and I don't think I got the same answer twice. It was 100 different answers, 100, and I'm going. I still don't know what to do.
And you won't. Ordering a rod online blind is rolling the dice. And what's up, Long Doyle? Appreciate you jumping in here tonight. Okay, let's go to let's see. How about this? Behavioral biology. Behavioral biology. This might be a trick question, guys. This might be a trick question. Why do bass move shallow after a cold front? Now, this is ChatGPT. Why do bass move shallow after a cold front? Tim, you're making a face back there. So what's your answer to that?
I'm not really sure. That's why I was making a face. Move shallow after a cold front.
Give me your best guess.
I'm going to say that it's because of the barometric pressure.
Okay.
After it comes through, the pressure's going to come
up,
so they're going to roam.
Answer.
I can't read the answers, but that's what I was going to say. I can't read the answers anyways. I was already trying.
What do you think?
I was going to say barometric pressure.
Okay. Why do bass move shallow after a cold front?
Water warms up faster.
So look, to feed up sunlight, shallow water warms faster heat, closer to the sun to warm up. Shallow water warms quicker during the daytime hours. Bait fish move shallow, so they do too. Now, guys, I told you it might be a trick question, didn't I? You remember me saying that?
You said that.
According to ChatGPT, they don't.
Come on.
Most retreat to deeper water or hold tight to cover.
Because the pressure's up after a cold front.
Yeah, according to why do bass move shallow after a cold front? The answer, they don't. Most retreat to deeper water or hold tight to cover. Now, guys, the answers that you were putting out there are what we would say. But Tim, the reason I went with you first is because I saw you making a face back there like, what in the hell?
Yeah, and you got me busted on it. I'm thinking, I'm not really sure why they would move up. So maybe that's why I'm thinking, why would they move up?
Well, I wish some more of these were kind of tricky like that. Maybe I haven't read them all.
That was sneaky right there.
These are Ken, yeah, you're right. Hey, but you know what? Let me tell you something with ChatGPT. In the old days, I'd sit here and I'd have to look on 100 different websites to come up with these questions.
Yeah.
All I did was I typed in ChatGPT, give me 100, 150 questions on bass fishing behavior in the industry for trivia night. And this is what it spit out.
I did it quick too.
Oh, it took about 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's crazy.
10 seconds. ChatGPT don't fish. Go adventure, go explore. For the record, I didn't know if they did. Hey, seriously, but most of them have been straight up. We're going to do, I tell you what, let's go ahead and do the question of the night. This next one will be the question of the night. So I got to pick one that's got like a specific answer. But let's go ahead and talk about our buddies over at Serve IT. Pull that up as I'm looking around for a question. Guys, if you've got a company, big and small, hey, and we all have them, you need IT solutions. And if you're looking for one, Serve IT is the company for you. 100% complete management of your IT services from start to finish. They can set you up if you don't got one. If you got an existing company doing it and you want it done better, Serve IT is the company for you. And if you're looking for a career change, go to serveit.com and check them out. Tell them you heard about it on Fish North Georgia. You might not even have an IT background, but if you got the right person skills and you're able to be a problem solver, as most of us rednecks are, it might be a good fit for you. So we appreciate Serve IT. So let's see. So what we're going to give away, that cover jumper Spro. Gosh, man, it's got to be specific here. So I'm looking. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do on this one. Man, this is really tough.
Just trying to pick a question.
Well, I have to one that has a specific answer.
Yeah, because I'm having trouble scrolling back in here. So
I tell you what. I got one. I got one, and this is something I read today. So if it's wrong, I don't care. But this way, what in a BASS event, what lake holds the record for the largest overall weights of the anglers combined in the tournament? What lake?
Wow.
What lake? And this is like even the guy that finished dead last. They take all the weights and add it up. What lake holds the record for the biggest overall bags? Boom. Who was that? Tracy Coker. Got it right there. Lake Fork.
Yeah.
Lake Fork. Tracy, I got this thing for you. There was a tournament, and I can't remember if it's 2019. I don't remember that, but I read this today. Over 6,900 pounds of bass were weighed in at that tournament on Lake Fork.
Crazy.
On Lake Fork. Ain't that crazy?
That's unreal.
Yeah, Doc Holliday was in there. He said, I know, but you said I couldn't play. And Tracy, come by tomorrow and I'll give it to you. Good. Saving on the shipping. And it just popped that up. But think about that. How many elite anglers are there? 100 something. Yeah, give or take a few. 6,900 pounds of bass on Lake Fork. And you know what? They might do that again this tournament, the way it's going right there. So Tracy, appreciate you playing. And listen, I know Kevin, if Thornton's watching, he's like, that's too easy, Danny. That is too easy. So anyway, that's pretty. Yeah, Lake Fork. So
Our boy Trey's in second place right now, too.
McKinney's in second. Yeah, I need to text him, but I don't want to jinx him.
Then you got Paul's in fifth, and Easton is in ninth.
And Emil is in what? I think he's in 13th or
top 10. He's 14th.
14th. Yeah.
Good showing.
Well,
Good showing.
there, one big bass. Did you see Ben Milliken on there today though? He had a decent one hooked, boy. He F-bombed right there. He's like, keep your head down. He was buzzing. It was just right there. But the commentators were commenting, and the second he said that, it got kind of quiet in the room a little bit right there. And that was funny. So trust me, I know. I keep having a guy in fantasy fishing finishing 102nd, Ron Swinford right there. So, Ron, I hate it for you. All right, behavioral biology. Back to the game tonight. At what temperature do largemouth bass typically spawn? And it is a little window. So between what and what? Around what temperature do largemouth bass typically spawn? Tony?
68 to 72.
68 to 72.
65, 70.
65, 70.
I was going to go 65, 70.
And these are not exact, of course. Now, Tracy Coker says 45, 55. Nope. Richie Rock'n'Roll 65. Brad Silver 60 to 65. 65 to 75 over there. 60, 65, 65, and 70. And again, there is really no exact on this because Lord knows we know. Rob says 63 to 68. Tim White says. Rob says 58, 65. Jeff H, 60 to 62. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Okay, so a lot of you guys are getting it, though, in that 60. According to Chat GPT, at what temperature do largemouth typically spawn? Between 62 and 68 degrees. Oh, he got it changed there. What's up, Trent? He got it changed. Warren Barnes, you Chat GPT'd it, dude. Hey, listen, y'all don't Chat GPT the answers. Okay, yeah. Whenever the water is stable here, Aaron's.
Good job, Warren.
And Aaron, remind me where you're fishing at again, if you don't mind, in the comment section. But yeah, now so Jim Wright says, I've seen them spawn in 48. And Ryan and I saw bass on bed on Lanier last year in late June, mid to late June, there was still a bed. So that is a variable, but it says 62 to 68. Oh, he got it. Yeah. That's because you Chat GPT'd that thing, Warren, you cheater, right there. So gone fishing with Ed. I honestly think it has more to do with the amount of sunlight.
Probably
and a lot
so.
of people do that too.
Right.
Just like deer, that photoperiodism or whatever the fancy people say kicks the bucks in the rut.
Time of day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When the days are getting longer.
I think it's a combination of all of it because, like the lake at the house, I was noticing spawning before Lanier was, so it's still in the same time zone, same basic sunlight. So I think it's just a combination of a lot of things.
That's right. Center Hill. Okay, that's right, Aaron. Yes. All right. Here's one that's kind of an opinion, but Chat GPT. See what you guys. Somebody give me some Chickamauga juice for a tournament Saturday.
Never been there.
You know what, Brad? Okay, Brad. Now we did it late in the year, but everybody I've ever talked to about Chickamauga, Jeff H, love your show. Congrats to Sonar Pro. I appreciate you, buddy. So listen, now Ron says there will be a wave spawning this weekend with the full moon plus lots of brim beds active too. I will say this. When I went up there, watch the MLF tournament from last weekend. Sure, 100%. But I had a lot of guys here tell me, throw a morning dawn worm on a drop shot. And I thought that was crazy. And when we went up there, I threw it on a drop shot and I threw it on a one of our Ned heads. I threw a 5-inch softy worm. Now, Warren Barnes says you can crank chick right now. I think that's what a lot of people do. But I actually caught fish on a morning dawn worm.
They like purple up there.
Do they like purple up there? You fished that a bit, ain't you?
Yeah. If it's overcast, throw a dark purple. If sun's out, throw a light purple. Pretty simple.
Are you cranking? Now, when you say purple, what kind of bait?
A worm.
Oh, on a worm.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
worm
I
of your
got you.
choice. I'll throw an old monster up there because that's the land of giants for the most part. Those big fish, they'll come out of that grass for them old monsters.
Hey,
Tail get to twirling going down there, they'll nail it.
yeah. So, this is interesting. Pull up Gone Fishing with Ed. Listen to this. My fish tanks at home stay at the same temp year round. It says they do spawn, but I think they don't spawn till the sunlight starts hitting the tank in the spring. So maybe it is, I get what he's saying right there.
It's more of a photo thing.
Yeah, so I get
Sunlight.
that.
Photosynthesis.
Steve Titsworth,
Yeah, that word.
Now Steve Titsworth, who is in Tennessee,
Yeah, ledge.
he says ledge fish it right now. So there you go, Brad. Good luck with all that. Between that, you should be able to do something. You should be able to do something. Okay. Let's see. That's a stupid ass question. What's the impact? What's the impact of stocking Florida strain bass? What's the impact of stocking Florida strain bass in a lake? And you guys got an answer to that or got a thought? Florida strain bass, what impact does it have in stocking a lake with? Let me read that question again. What's the impact of stocking Florida strain bass?
I mean, get a bigger base for bigger fish. I mean, that would be my first thought.
Gone Fishing with Ed so they grow bigger and faster.
Yeah.
Which I think is everybody's answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
You got anything to add to that, Tim?
Yeah, if you stock something that's going to grow faster and bigger, it's going to start consuming all your smaller fish in the pond, or
You're saying it might have a detrimental effect.
Right. It's going to eat more. Maybe some, even, a large bass will eat a small bass. That's why they kind of school together in fair size, sometimes, because a big one's going to eat the little ones.
There's 12-inch bass and there's bass that eat 12-inch bass.
Right.
For sure. Walton, no, I'm not going to be here this weekend. I got a family event I got to go to. But man, I hate I'm going to miss you. Ron Swinford, largemouth bass, but they are much more affected by cold fronts and cold water. And Ron, you're kind of going over the time. Sonar Pros, aggression, genetics over time should flip, and aggression and growth rate will improve. Richie Rock and Roll, degrading genetic diversity. All right, listen, I can tell when you guys are like Chat GPT and some of the answers here, everybody. Here's their answer, Chat GPT. What's the effects of Florida strain bass? It can increase trophy potential, but also complicate genetics and survival in colder climates. Colder climates. Do they really stock Florida strain like up? I mean, how far up you reckon they go when they stock those things? It's got to have a limit to where they can survive.
I wouldn't think they'd go too much farther than us because, I mean, if you really want to catch smallmouth, you've got to go up to the Tennessee-Georgia line.
Yeah.
Because they don't survive on down here.
I know that O'Gorman was doing some testing where he had northern strain and F1 strain in the same pond.
Yeah.
And was comparing how they grow, but I don't remember.
You don't remember
where it went? I was just looking to see if I could find it. But
all right, how about, let's see. Where was okay. What's a bass's primary senses? What is a bass's two primary senses for feeding? What is a bass's 2 primary senses for feeding?
I think it's sight and feel.
Sight and feel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sight, lateral line.
Okay. Tim?
I'm gonna go with sight and lateral lines. I'm gonna take the sense out of it. That's like a third.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy. It is sight and lateral line.
Yeah.
I had to give you guys an easy one right there. So, because I'm like, but it is, hey, for all them guys that like the sense, it didn't say it on ChatGPT. So,
Right.
but it's primary.
I'm gonna keep
Primary.
dipping them.
Keep dipping them, baby.
They're gonna eat garlic whether they like it or
Yeah,
not.
they're going to the Olive Garden. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah, sight and and you guys that say vibration, that's the same thing
Yeah,
as the lateral
feel,
line and
yeah.
feel, like what you said.
Yeah,
too.
muddy
So,
water. That's what they use to hone down a baits. Those lateral lines. They're hunting on radar, not sight at that point.
okay, how about this one? What's the significance of the moon phases
Yeah.
in bass fishing?
Harrington's talking. That's what O'Gorman did, and the northern bass were bigger.
All right, pull that comment up. I watched a video where the northern strain largemouth outgrew the Florida strain by quite a bit, and this was at a private pond in an Atlanta suburb.
He did it at that Sugar Hill spot that he does, the pond in Sugar Hill that he manages.
Okay, all right.
Did he say why? What did he figure out?
I don't remember, man. It's been some time back, and I don't remember how I got here. So.
Ask Tony. I don't want anything Italian after a day of fishing.
Yeah, Joker. It's a garlic fest in the boat.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah.
Brad
Yes,
Silvers.
everything.
Oh yeah. What about sound? And I think sound is the lateral line. It's still the vibration.
Right. Yeah,
of
it's
the
a
sound.
vibration frequency.
All right. So we got an answer to this next question. What's the significance of moon phases in bass fishing? So full moon brings them shallow. Bait fish are spawning. That was it. What do you guys think as far as moon phases with bass fishing? We talk about it all the time, but according to ChatGPT, what's the significance of it?
I don't know. I think he's right on the money with that. Bringing the bait fish.
They can see
shallow and
better. I
spawn.
think they can see better.
You think it's a sight thing? You think it's a bait thing?
Well, I know what it does to me. It's like I'm going to be out there early in the morning because they're going to be shallower earlier, and then they're going to move off. That's the way I do it. So
Kevin Thornton, hello, fellow fishermen.
What's up,
Keep
buddy?
falling asleep, buddy. You need to sleep. Get your rest, but we are appreciating. I hope you're feeling a little bit better, and we still got you on our mind, big dog out there. Take some of them good pain meds. I know you're getting.
I think he is. I texted him earlier, and he still hadn't responded. Just see how he's doing. Now I know you're okay, buddy.
Yeah, there you go. And listen, and if you don't use all of them, hey, bring them on up here to the shop. My back's really hurting. I'm just kidding.
Danny's out of gummies.
I'm out of gummies. I'm about to steal some more of them.
Go ahead.
Braves 2-2. Brad Silver says gravitational pull sight. Okay. Ron Swinford said full moon allows them to feed easier at night, more bait shallow. George says feed more at night during the full moon. Now, what about you there, Tim? What significance of the moon phase does the moon phase play in bass fishing?
I think they can just see better,
Mm-hmm.
so they have a lot more light to go out hunting. So they're going to get out and roam a little bit more. They can use 2 senses instead of that first one.
Right.
Instead of trying, because at nighttime a lot it's about vibration more than anything in silhouette. So if they can see, it's just daylight to them all the time.
All right, here's what it says. New and full moons often trigger stronger feeding and spawning behavior.
Mm.
Now,
So they feel frisky too.
that basically goes to what guys are saying about the bait fish. Right now, pull up Warren Barnes right there. And those things are addicting. It really has no significance for bass fishing. I can catch fish in any phase. Well, hey,
I love
look.
the confidence.
Huh?
I love the confidence.
That's right. True. But according to ChatGPT, it triggers a stronger feeding habit. Now, we all know, though, good Lord, I can't talk with these things in my mouth. Anyway, though, we've been talking about bed fishing and all that, but now we're talking about brim spawn and all that. What do we always talk about? Everybody goes, when's the next full moon?
that's right.
When's the next full moon? So
Mhm.
let's see what else in the comment sections. Walton says we got a kayak gang going to Hollis on Saturday. Any
Yeah, buddy.
kayakers in the chat, come out and join us.
I'll be there.
You'll be there?
Yeah.
Y'all don't mess my
Me
lake
and,
up.
Me and Nathan will both be there.
Last thing we need is a bunch of kayakers over there
And
on my lake.
I think John's going to be up there too.
Yeah, you guys are.
Danny's gonna park
Oh,
his
yeah, we're
truck
gonna
in front of
catch
the
all
gate
the
where y'all
fish,
can't
yeah.
get in.
What am I going to do, Tim?
Danny's truck's going to be mysteriously broke down sideways right in front of the gate, so y'all can't get in.
100%. 100%. Y'all stay out of my lake.
Staging a coup.
I'm just kidding. Jeremy Conkrat says, hate fishing during the full moon. The darker, the better. I'm going to ask you that question then, because summertime night fishing's coming up.
Yeah.
Would you rather do it on a full moon or in pitch black dark?
I would rather not. I would rather fish in the dark.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think they can see better. You don't catch them as good.
When the moon's out.
When the moon's out and high in the sky and it's bright like daylight in the middle of the night, yeah, I don't catch them as good.
What about you, Tim?
I kind of go with the water. It's similar to the watercolor. If the moon's bright, they're going to be out roaming around, so they're all over the place. If it's dark, they're going to hold tighter to something, so it's easier to locate them.
Okay, that's a good answer. What about you?
I don't get the night fish a whole lot, but I guess I just think that if they're, they're feeding when it's full moon, so I'm thinking they're eating. So
Look at Tim's answer.
Yeah.
Hey, is that what you was laughing at too?
Yeah.
Bull hatting up. It affects the tide. I always fish lower end of Lanier during high tide.
it's good advice.
Hey.
Good advice.
Tim can fish. He can fish. He knows what he's talking about. Brad Silver says, I hate a full moon. Full moon, I'm throwing top water. Now, listen. That's an interesting comment because when we start talking about summertime bass fishing, occasionally, bless you there, buddy. Or was that Claire?
That was Grady.
That was great. Hey, Grady, come here. Come here, Grady. There's my buddy Grady right here. Grady, you got a girlfriend?
No.
Smart man. I want you to say hello to everybody out there in Fish North Georgia land. Okay, good. Now you can go back. I use you as a prop. But we never talk about top water night. Everybody's throwing a Colorado spinnerbait,
Yeah, that's what I
or they're dragging a big worm.
the rare time I would throw a top water in the
Good.
dark, it's just going to be a buzz bait.
Actually, a buzz bait.
Yeah.
Something with some noise.
Yeah.
Something with some noise. So, gone fishing with that. I'm horrible fishing at night. Full moon, new moon, can't catch them. Buddy, I'm right there with you. Ron says full moon in the middle of the night, prime
I
top
love it.
water. You won't catch many, but what you do catch can be really good.
Okay.
Okay, I got that. Warren Barnes says they move up more when it's dark. If it's full, they bury up in cover or move deeper. He said when it's bright, they bury up. Interesting.
Well, think
interesting.
about, if they were talking about sunlight being the same as moonlight, they're going to go for that shade line, those kind of things to ambush more. So that makes sense.
Jeremy says, I throw top water all night, every night. Moon makes no difference to me. Ken, top water and spinnerbait, cranking the yanking black top water. Brad Silver's full moon, I still fish the shade. Interesting. Interesting. If those guys that go fish those dock lights, though, the green lights and everything,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're always in the edge of that.
it's almost
aura.
like
Stay
shade.
way out, far away
exactly.
from it.
It's almost like they let the bait fish go up there, and then when them bait fish just straggle off to the edge where it gets a little darker.
I like to stay way out away from it and cast across it
Yep.
to the other side.
Okay.
Or even drag back into it if you can cast.
Yeah,
like you
and
did,
I'll drag
back
through it.
into
Yeah. So I'll start in the dark, come through the light,
Yep.
and finish in the dark.
Finish in the dark.
Yeah, finish in the dark. You got,
All
there's
right.
children here, Dana.
Oh, I was already looking for the next question, man. I was looking for the next question.
He was way gone past that.
Me and you were the only ones that laughed at that.
Moving right along to our next question.
Yeah, I'm lost, guys. I'm actually trying to be serious tonight. I don't want another dirty comment. A comment that
You don't get an email.
I don't want to email. All right. How about this? When do bass feed most actively during the day?
Or are we saying like day being?
Any part of the day, 24-hour day. When do bass
I feel
feed
like-
most actively during the day?
I feel like morning.
Chat GPT, sunrise.
Sunrise?
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel morning. Sunrise.
You said morning. What about you, Tim?
During the middle of the day.
What do you guys say out there in the comment section? I see early morning, after lunch, early morning, whenever they get hungry.
That was my first thought. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
well, yeah,
2
whenever
p.m.
they-
Paul specific.
When
2 p.m.
when they turn the dam on, when they start pulling water.
That does get them kicked up.
Yeah.
That does get them kicked up.
Hey,
Chat GPT is going to say morning.
You think so?
I think just because it's the popular answer.
Yep.
or-
Early morning, midday, and dusk. John ordered 1 p.m. Now noon to 2 p.m. Now I will say this.
I like afternoon better.
I've got that book,
morning.
and we did a show on it. I have to bring it back. The most trophy bass. They followed these 3 great fishermen. Doug Hannon was one, and he was the Southeast guy. There was a guy in Texas and a guy in California.
All caught after 10 a.m.
They kept
Between 10 and 2.
10 and 2. It was seriously, it was. They kept meticulous records, kind of like old Tim Hancock does up there.
Yeah.
All the majority of the trophy bass were caught in the middle of the day. In the middle of the day. And it didn't matter what technique, just that. So according to ChatGPT, when do bass feed most actively during the day? The answer, low light periods being dawn, dusk, or overcast conditions. So if you get an overcast, and how many times do we say that on this show? Guys are like, shad spawn, if it's overcast, that thing could go on all day, or top water, overcast. It could be all day top water. Let's see, they eat all day at Carter's and don't want to eat until 11 to 12 at midnight. Now, I will say this. Bill Payne said, I remember when Bill Payne come on last time, he said, if you're fishing a night tournament, you better get them during the daylight hours, because for some reason, from sundown till about 11 or so, he always experiences a slowdown period. Always has this little slowdown period. All right, let's get over here. Let's go back to industry. I know, let's do techniques and tactics. Okay, how about this? What's the ideal temperature for a pre-spawn bite? Again, it's a little bit of a giveaway, but for a pre-spawn bass bite, what is the ideal water temperature?
55.
You say 55. And again, this is a little bit of a range.
Yeah, I was going to say 65 or 55 to 60.
55 to 60. I see 40 to 50, 62, 55, 55. Tim?
I was going to say about 60. So 60, 55, 60.
55, 60 for you. Brad Silver says 55, 60. Doc Holiday, 50, 55, 62, 65. And I'll get to Jeremy's comment section. According to ChatGPT, let me find that question again. The ideal water temperature for pre-spawn bass bites is around 48 to 55 when bass begin staging. Warren quit ChatGPT in the thing.
Literally, as you said, he typed it in.
48 to 55 when bass begin staging near spawning flats. When we do this again, I'm not going to say ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, Warren, we know you're cheating there, dog.
He's like Clint.
He's like Clint.
Yeah.
He's Clint. He's cheating.
Clint's fast.
But all of you guys said 55, 50 to 58, 48 to 50. I mean, you're still in the 40s on some of these. 48 degrees is cold, Do you think that's the best? I mean, around here, when have you found like that ideal pre-spawn? I mean, I would say you guys would say 55 to 60.
That's what I saw.
He says I'm not, I swear. Hey. Warren, come on now. Hey, listen, if not, you're good. If not, you're good.
Not on the money.
How about this? What's the main use of a Tokyo rig? What's the main use of a Tokyo rig?
Take up room in the tackle box. I've got some, but I've never thrown them.
I've never thrown one.
It's like
either.
Carolina rig with a wire.
What's the main use?
What's the main
bass
use?
Fishing.
Yeah, bass fishing.
Well, good Lord, we know it's bass fishing. Jim Wright said, I caught a 6'8" in 48 degree water this year. She had a bloody tail.
Yeah, he did do that.
Ron says to keep bait above the vegetation. Tim, do you got an answer? What's the main use of a Tokyo rig? Bed fishing. Darian, hey.
I think probably the right answer, or the answer that whatever's going to give, is probably just to keep it up off the bottom. But I use it to punch.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
You use it to punch.
Yeah.
So Cranking and Yanking says, what is a Tokyo rig? Tim, describe a Tokyo rig for those that, do you even know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I got one
if you watch the Gunnersville trip episode on the Real American Road Trip,
That's
I describe it on the show. It's a hook, 3 to 5 aught, has a little wire that comes down, and you can either put a bullet weight, egg weight, whatever. If you're going to punch, put 2 bullet weights back to back and put your critter bait on there. And when you swing it out, the bait, the weight will pull the bait through.
Right.
Or if you wanted a ditch fishing, put your critter or put your bait of choice on there and put your weight on there, and you can feel that bait dragging the bottom, but you feel the weight dragging the bottom, but your bait's going to be a little bit off of it, off the bottom.
What are we talking? A couple inches?
Yeah. I think most of the wire on them is like 2.5 inches or so, maybe 3.
It's like a tiny Carolina rig.
Right.
So to speak. So according to ChatGPT, the main use of a Tokyo rig is fishing heavy cover with a swinging weight presentation that keeps the bait off the bottom. Does that sound right? Is ChatGPT right, or do you disagree with it?
No, that's pretty much keeping it off the bottom, right?
What kind of bait do you put on a Tokyo rig?
You can put a critter bait on it. You can put a swim bait on it.
Anything you want.
Yeah, it's got an EWG hook on it. You can take and put Kitech type or a fluke type on it and like ditch fish with it.
Hanging on the shelf of a
let the
tackle
weight
store.
just drag the bottom,
Most of mine rust
and your bait's gonna be 2-3 inches above the bottom. Keep it out of the mud and silt.
So Warren says it's the best for punching.
Yeah, I like punch with it.
You like to punch with it? How much weight is on one of them?
Shoot, you can go all the way up to ounce and a half, whatever kind of bullet weights that you can get on there. You can put 2 back to back.
It doesn't come with the weight.
No. When you buy them in a pack, a lot of different manufacturers, the ones I have are VMCs. It's an EWG hook, and it has just a wire on a little swivel out there that's probably 3 inches long, and it's just straight. You put whatever weight you want on there, take your pliers and crimp the end of it and get busy.
Okay, I didn't know that. So Ken says, Tim, next time you throw a Tokyo rig on Gunnersville, you will eat sushi for dinner instead of jambalaya. But do you like sushi?
I do like sushi.
I do like sushi. Can't go wrong with sushi. All right, how about this? What water clarity is ideal for sight fishing? Now, I don't know how in the hell you break
Really?
this down.
How do you gauge this?
This is a question from ChatGPT.
How do we gauge that? It's like
What water clarity is ideal for sight fishing?
I would say clear water.
Clear, yeah, but it's
1 to 1,500 particles per square inch. I don't know.
14.
I'm waiting. No, hang on. No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting on.
Clear.
I'm waiting on Warren to.
Yeah, Warren. What's the answer?
What's the answer? Oh, Warren. He's been on point so far, man. Give it to us, man.
Yeah, Warren. What is the ideal water clarity for sight fishing? You guys might disagree with ChatGPT on this one. Are we all going with just clear? But now wait a second.
I'm going to say stain.
That's kind of what it's talking about. What it's asking is, okay, Warren says 3 foot visibility.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I could go with that. I mean, you don't want to be too clear, but
Ron says, don't know what ChatGPT says, but not Coosa River water.
No, Ron and I are from a different world.
What's up, Tony Watkins? All right, the answer for ChatGPT is at least 2 to 3 foot visibility. So here's what Warren did. He hit the ChatGPT and said, all right, listen, if I take off the 2, they won't think I'm cheating anymore.
Right, yeah.
I'm just teasing with you, Warren. I'm just teasing. But
he knows it.
But so 2 to 3 foot. But so I was getting ready to say, when guys were saying clear, actually, I don't know that you won't clear.
No.
Because they can see it for 2. They see 2 well.
Yeah, 2 clear is bad.
So I do get the 2 to 3 feet. That gives you a little bit of stain to it, but not. It's still kind of clear. But what are you laughing at?
Mid-90s Bassmaster magazine.
Like ChatGPT.
We're at midnight.
Bottom of Jeremy Concrete.
Sounds like a ChatGPT. Hey, Jeremy, it might be. It might be. You know what? It probably takes everything on the internet, which I think is still cool. Let's see. I did that one. I got to get better. How about this? Because everybody's got an opinion on this one. What line type is best for topwater baits? What line type is best for topwater baits? You quickly said monofilament.
Yes, sir.
Quickly, why?
Because it floats, got a little bit of stretch.
Okay, Tim.
I'll either use mono or braid. I'm gonna say braid.
You're gonna say braid. What are you saying?
Well, mono for walking baits and braid for buzz baits. So yeah, I mean, I'm going with braid most of the time, but I use mono too. So
depends on the topwater bait. Jeremy says
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And so, really, on this one, because I just read it, all of you are correct.
All right.
Monofilament or braid, fluorocarbon sinks and it affects the bait action, which I think that was kind of an easy one. everybody can agree with on that one. Let's get back over into conservation and environmentalism. Okay. How do aquatic invasive species impact bass fisheries? How do aquatic invasive species impact bass fisheries?
Negatively.
yeah, negatively. We get that. That's correct, but how?
Well, if we're talking about, invasive like fish species, they eat bait fish and can compete with
Paul
the
B
bass.
says badly.
Yeah, badly. Yeah, they can. They eat the bait, so they compete with the largemouth for the bait that they would feed on. So
Yeah,
make smaller fish, smaller game fish, I guess.
eat all the grass. They destroy it. I think this is another pretty easy one right there. It says they alter food webs, so the food chain.
Yeah.
They alter the food chain. They reduce habitat, and they increase competition.
Yeah.
Look at Kentucky Lake with those carp.
Asian carp. Yeah.
Now, Ron Swinford has a very good answer. Sometimes they help. Like the Great Lakes, the zebra mussels cleaned up that water. And I know firsthand that I was sitting on Lake Michigan, and I thought that rock was about to hit the boat. And the guy goes, that rock's 30 foot down, Danny.
Wow.
It is that clear. We think we got clear water here in North Georgia. We got nothing compared to Northern. I ain't talking about Detroit water. That's different.
Lake Michigan's beautiful.
Lake Michigan, the Crystal River is exactly what it sounds like. It is the cleanest water, clearest water I've ever seen. But all of that is because of the zebra mussel up there. They said Lake Michigan used to be just the nastiest, dirtiest water around. Those mussels got in there, and absolutely that lake's beautiful now. And it's so clear. I can't overemphasize the word clear when I'm talking about that water. Cranking Yankee says Sylvania, I hope I said that right, will kill the lake if not kept under control if you're talking weeds. So I get, weeds and all that, but I guess it depends on what the invasive species is. They're probably talking more about fish, but weeds and everything. I know on some of and this is you northern guys that are watching, I know there's some lakes, like we were trying to get an electric only tournament between some guys in Maryland and here. We were not allowed to take our boats to Maryland until they had been inspected by the government, by the DNR, washed, whatever. Let's look at you. You don't like the government involvement in that.
It's them damn Democrats.
Is that what that is? Yeah. But the reason is because they didn't want invasive aquatic or mussels or anything like that.
No, yeah. And there's a lot of guys too that will like hose off their kayaks and stuff because of grass and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They don't want to transfer it from lake to lake.
Right.
I've heard them sitting at boat ramps. If you got, if you come in with your plug in, they won't let you put in. It's got to be completely dry hole.
Yeah. And so zebra mussels cost the water plants $1 million in cleanup on intake and outtakes.
Yeah.
The water plant. Ooh, I didn't think about that though.
They're not. I mean, you might get one positive on one side, but the other side
there's always a negative. So, and same with Ron's comment. Hydrilla is considered invasive, but it's some of the best bass habitat for largemouth.
That is true.
Well, and that's the other thing we hear all the time is that they don't manage these lakes for bass.
No, they don't.
That's not what they're not here for the fishermen. That's what they tell you.
How about this one? Who has the most Bassmaster Classic wins?
Kevin Van Dam.
Who has the most Bassmaster Classic wins?
That'd be Kevin.
Okay. In Texas and Louisiana, they will write you a ticket for having Sylvania on your trailer.
Wow. They're serious about that.
Heck yeah. All right, so you both say Van Dam and Clun. He says Van Dam and Clun. Tim, you got an answer?
I don't. I really don't. I'd probably say Van Dam, but
Van Dam would be the easy one. Right? No, he ain't got that. Randy Blockett.
Get him, Ed.
Well, if you ask his followers, forward-facing sonar causes cancer also. I don't know about that, but
Dude,
I'm sure if
you just gave Uncle Randy the next video. We'll see that probably tomorrow or the next day. Cancer causing FFS.
There's the new clickbait title right there.
Right. It's coming.
You know what? Here would be an interesting thing. Just put the clickbait out. Just do the thumbnail that says, does forward-facing sonar cause cancer?
Oh, you get some views.
And just see how many, and then all you do is like 2 seconds and just say, gotcha. But see how many people actually click on it just to see that.
Yeah, you'd have thousands of clicks.
You'd have the clicks.
Oh, yeah, it'd be there.
You'd have the clicks.
You'd probably have more shares than clicks because people like to just share stuff blind without clicking on it.
Oh, yeah. Everybody watch
They
this.
do.
They just read the title and be like, look at that, and share it out.
Braves down 4-3, top of the ninth. Tony, oh man, need to get him on the show. Who, Walton?
Uncle Randy.
Uncle Randy?
Yeah.
He wouldn't respond.
Actually, he responded to me.
Oh.
But this has been a long time ago.
Oh.
Probably a year and a half ago, before I disliked him as much as I do. I asked him if he would come on. This was him with the Ben Milliken stuff was going on.
Yeah.
And I asked him if he would come on. He goes, man, I'm podcasted out. I'm podcasted out. He goes, hit me in a couple months. I never hit him back.
I don't think I've seen him on, but maybe he's been on 1 or 2 podcasts.
He ain't been on many.
And I'm guilty. I'll admit it right now. I did it just for an experiment. I did a YouTube video and I put Ben Milliken and Randy Blockett on there. And I stood at the back of my boat and talked for about 10 minutes about them two. And there was nothing of any value in any of that. And it got like 6,000 clicks, I think, or views.
Yeah.
Because that's the thumbnail.
Yeah,
so,
for
I
sure.
mean, it works. There was no value to that whatsoever. Don't go watch it now. There's nothing there.
Well, y'all giving away my video ideas. Forward facing only causes cancer in the state of California. He hasn't won squat since 2005, 20. But now here's the thing. Now, listen, I'll say this about Randy. He's smart when it comes to fishing.
Yeah.
If you watch, the problem is his how-to videos don't get the views that the other stuff.
No, they want to see him grab about
But
something.
he's not necessarily bad when it comes to, hey, this is how you should fish this. This is how you fish that. It's just when he gets into what he's really into at the time, against, for, whatever. That's kind of the way he is. Tim, watch out on the way home. We got storms coming in.
We'll definitely be careful. We got little ones in the trucks.
Oh, that's right. How about this? Pull up Bottom Line Outdoors. Appreciate you joining us right there. They talk about invasive species, but DNR has put spots in non-native water. Now, Bottom Line Outdoors, can you tell us like where? I'd be curious to that. I do know that spots will ruin a lake.
People blame fishermen for taking fish from lake to lake, but maybe it's not us.
Well, listen, I will tell you this. According to Randy, we're all fishing wrong. If he'd keep his opinions quiet and only do the info, he would be fine. Yeah, but there's no money in that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you can't.
Randy's a genius, and we all fall for it. Me, I'm guilty. We're going to watch him gripe about something, and he figured that out with his little cell phone up in the window of his garage that time. And, I mean, he's making bank on it now. Can't blame him for the
Can't blame
capitalism
him. He's
part.
making a whole lot more money on YouTube than I am.
Yeah, he's
I've
making it.
only clicked on one Randy Blockett video ever.
Wow.
It was that one about him talking about bone topwater. And that's because y'all shared it in the group. I've never clicked on another one.
Gotcha.
Listen up. We did a reaction video to that where he says bone topwater is like the most overrated whatever.
He says throw baby bass instead. It's the
Throw
same
baby
color
bass,
on
but
the
it was that one of his things that he could get on his affiliate link. Go to Tackle Warehouse and buy. But in the video he says, but people catch fish on bone baits all the time. And I'm like, why are you saying it's no good if you do? But he does.
And we all watched it.
Yeah, we do. Let's see. But back to Ron says spots are invasive as well.
Yes, they are.
And I will say this, Lake Blue Ridge used to be a
It's a perfect example.
smallmouth haven in Georgia. It was our smallmouth haven. What has spotted bass done to it?
Lake Lanier.
Yeah, Lake Lanier, I think, is a little bit different. And granted, it could be a great largemouth lake, but I think Lake Lanier is built for it's big enough. It's built for a spotted bass. Because if you took, I mean, in that lake, it's just different. But it is invasive. Yeah, you're right. But I think it can thrive in some, but like Blue Ridge, smaller lakes like that, they're going to outcompete everything. But just take blueback herring. Okay. Take Latham over here. Latham was not stocked with blueback herring. The lake, they put in threadfin, but people went to Hammonds or whatever, bought them some bluebacks, started dumping, or maybe went up to Carter's and cast net some or whatever, and blueback changed Latham.
But then what about lakes like Table Rock that have spots, smallmouth and largemouth, and they all live together just fine?
But do they? Okay, how about this? Would it be a better smallmouth fishery if it didn't have the spots, or a better largemouth, vice versa, one way? I mean, I don't know. I'm asking just kind of.
I don't know either.
I
would assume yes.
Spots crossbreed. Bluebacks changed Lanier also. And they're changing Allatoona as we speak. Neely Henry used to have smallmouth till they put the spots in it.
Did you know that Wheeler has smallmouth in it?
No, I did not know that.
That's apparently Lake Wheeler has smallmouth in it.
Yeah, it's high enough. It's high enough for them to survive.
Spots are just better looking smallmouth. Yeah, but they do crossbreed. So, like,
Mean
seriously,
mouths.
cranking and yanking. We got a lake down here that had smallmouth and largemouth. The spots got in it, and now we have the mean mouse. And you used to go up to Blue Ridge and you could target smallmouth. You still can catch some in there, but you're going to catch more spots and stuff.
I've caught fish up there on the Tennessee River. They're just like kind of a weird looking gray.
It's just a better looking smallmouth.
A weird looking gray.
It's a bass, but it's kind of a weird looking gray. And it's like, what all the heck is it crossed up with? It's a meanie, it's a mean mouth, obviously, but it's just there's very faint stripes or very faint lateral lines on it. It's just kind of sickly looking.
WB Harrington says it almost seems like the more species, the better. Tilapia lakes make for huge largemouth bass. I bet they do. But what about Wedowee? It's mostly spots.
That's got a good largemouth, a real good largemouth population. But if you want, it sets up so much like Lanier that I think the spots are good for lake if you want to go catch fish, like over there, those spots over there. They're great for going and catching fish, but you still got to go. We still got a real good largemouth population though. So I think it, kind of
one of the is that lake big enough to balance it though?
Yes.
So Wedowee, spots are breeding with shoal bass in the Flint River. That's gone fishing with it. Spots are breeding with shoal bass. Yes.
What do they look like?
Now, Jim says
Spolies.
Yeah, I meant to read Jim's comment up there.
Yeah, Jim says Wedowie's crossbred between largemouth and spots. I caught a fish during our winter trail. We fished together, and I would have swore it was a spot. It looked like a spot. I mean, but it didn't have all of the telltale signs, so I couldn't put it in the live well because we have a 16-inch minimum for largemouth, and I couldn't put it in the live well. Even though it looked like a spot, it didn't have the tongue patch. The fins didn't look right. It just wasn't. It wasn't a spot. It was a crossbreed between the
shoal bass with tongue patches. Pull up hog wild fishing right there. Spots and largemouth can and do coexist normally because they don't interbreed. Spots do not coexist with smallmouth because they almost always crossbreed, and the spots will breed out the smallie.
Correct.
Okay.
So smallies and largemouth do not crossbreed, which makes sense.
Yeah. Also, just FYI, if you're on Tennessee River, they want 18-inch smallmouth, and you'll get so many meanies. And I asked the Tennessee guys that were at their wildlife resources. They don't call them DNR up there. I asked them, and they said the way they judge, if you've got something in your live well, if it's green, it's a spot or a Kentucky or a large. If it's brown, it's a smallmouth. So,
okay,
they don't recognize really the mean mouth. They just go by if it's brown, it's this. If it's green, it's that. So
really,
yeah, don't be writing them a check because you boo-booed.
I got you. All right, Zoom. Eddie Down says just let you know Zoom is selling online now. That's good because right now, I mean, well, for the longest time you couldn't get Zoom unless you went through a distributor to sell them and all that. Cumberland is full of all three and yet to catch a mean mouth out of it. Well, I caught a mean mouth in Blue Ridge last year, and
some of them are hard to tell. You'll just assume that it's something and throw it back.
It is hard to tell. All right, let me give you another question here. According to ChatGPT, what causes bass to suspend and be hard to catch? According to ChatGPT, what causes bass to suspend and be hard to catch? And it gives 3 reasons. These 3 reasons make bass suspend and hard to catch. So we got David Weaver says thermocline. That is one of them. The thermocline is one of them. Thermocline will cause them.
High pressure.
You say it's pressure?
High fishing pressure.
High fishing pressure. Tim? Bladder.
Cold water.
Cold water.
Yeah, their metabolism slows down and they'll just get out there and hover around and do nothing.
They're not as hard to catch with forward facing now. Well, true. But I see high pressure, weather conditions. According to ChatGPT, the 3, let's see what hog wilds are: bait fish, thermocline, and temperature. According to ChatGPT, the 3 reasons that bass suspend and can become hard to catch are A, inconsistent weather. So inconsistent weather, abundant forage, and thermocline.
There you go.
There's my balloons. Abundant forage. And did you see that, Claire? Watch this. I'm magic. Watch the screen.
Yeah.
You want some balloons?
Yeah. Watch the screen. You're up on the thing.
Watch the balloons come.
You got your 2.
2. What the hell? There we go.
There.
There's you some balloons, honey. Those were all for you. Those were all for you. That's kind of interesting. Inconsistent weather.
You've got their curiosity up now.
Yeah. Y'all can come up here and stand behind me if you want to and be on camera. I don't care. You was close, Hog Wild. I wanted to say weather and said temperature instead. Braves tied the game up. Give a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Why use your
What
arms?
in the world?
You got to do 2.
Well, he can do one. Do one real quick.
Gotta hold it there.
And watch what happens. Look at there. You get the thumb up. Look
And
at there.
2 thumbs up. You see that?
You're magical, dude. You're magical. All right. Why do bass relate to points? Why do bass relate to points? And we all fish points.
Forage and cover.
Forage and cover.
I mean, it's ambush point.
Ambush point. What do you guys in the comment section think? Eddie Rosario scored to tie it. I know, but I still don't like Eddie. What do you think, Tim? Why do bass
I go with the ambush point
relate to points?
because they can move up and down
Ambush
the
spot.
conditions of the lake
Transition,
and
yeah.
ambush bait fish.
Very good answer. So, according to ChatGPT, points act as feeding stations and transition zones between deep and shallow water. Use it as a highway. Basically, every one of your answers up there is correct and all that. All right, let's see. How about this? What's the average? Here's a good one. What is the average income of a professional angler? Now, it does vary, but what do you guys think is the average income of a professional angler? Anybody?
50 to 75,000.
Hey, I was gonna say 75 to 100.
75 to 150 to 75. Tim?
No,
100 to 150.
100 to 150.
this is take home.
I guess so. It
Yeah,
just
they
says-
kind of left that open.
Yeah, listen, and there is a wide swath here. But what do you guys in the comment section think? So we got 50, 100,000, 300,000, 50, 100, 80,000. It's
300,000. You better be winning a lot.
80,000. Okay, so here's this. So it says, here's the answer. It says varies. Many make 40 to 100,000. But top earners with sponsorships can exceed 500,000. What's Warren say?
I like it.
45,000 per year.
Yeah.
But they say 40 to 100,000. But top earners with sponsorships can exceed 500,000. Now, if there's this isn't on here, but you guys, if you had to pick one angler on the Bassmaster Elite Trail right now, who could be making 500,000 a year?
Ben Milliken.
But is that? But well, that's with his YouTube stuff.
Well, yeah, that's everything.
Okay, let's just say in earnings. I don't know any of them that are making like that now. Sponsors make the money for them, but yeah, I mean, they're good. They're good. Hey, listen, we take all kinds here. We take all kinds here.
Oh, is she trying to call them back in here?
But you just look, she got that mama look from around there, like, yeah.
That's why they're not looking at her.
So
yeah, I'd say Gerald.
Yeah, Swindle's probably up there pretty good because he's got
with sponsors,
with sponsors.
with sponsors.
Yeah, you add those sponsor dollars in. It just depends. I mean, it could go through.
Who
the roof.
else? Who else is on par with Swindle?
Probably
Hack Attack,
Jacob
Hackney.
Wheeler.
Jacob Wheeler.
Dustin Connell.
Did you see that the end of that MLF tournament the other day?
I did.
Oh,
that was wild,
that's crazy.
man.
Okay, so you are 1 minute away from winning how much? How much was that? 100,000 roughly, like that, whatever.
Roughly, yeah.
100,000.
100,000. And a guy snatches it from you with 30 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
Or
they were counting him
Literally
down.
had
It's
to
like
get
you
over the
got
gunwale,
so many
man.
seconds. It's got to be over the gunwale of
Yeah,
the
he
boat.
literally had to get over the gun of the boat.
Swindle, Hackney, Christie, Jay Lee. I have to text Jordan. Jordan, how much you make a year? He ain't gonna tell me, but I'll text him and ask him. But okay, so you can flip that. That guy was like, you could say Wheeler lost all that money with 30 seconds left. Or you can turn around and say that guy won all that money with 30 seconds left. But I still can't get into MLF like I do bass. And maybe it's because I know some guys that fish the elites. That was amazing to watch. That was terrible. Wheeler and Connell on the BPT. Yeah, they're probably making it. The cost of living too much, even with sponsors, 500,000 isn't happening. And I think you might be correct with that. That might be back in the day, but we don't know what their sponsorship packages are. You know, that I don't think you can find that online. But the cost of living.
Well, you have to figure in.
And Ron's right.
The value of all they're getting too. I mean, some of these guys are getting boats, if they're still getting boats.
Could that be
That's considered
dollar value?
I mean, you got Ben Milliken who owns part of he owns part of 6 Cents, YouTube. I mean, there's more that goes in. 500,000 is not that far off. Now, what they spend and what take home is, that's totally different.
Yeah,
I wish it had
gross versus net's probably a whole different critter.
I mean, you could go and add up the winnings, you know, for people's careers, but Garmin has plenty of money. Cranking and Yankee said, yes, they do. Yes, they do. But guys are leasing boats, not buying. I don't know how that works. You playing with Gilbert right there? All right, so Wheeler with Academy and Rapala. James Archer says that might make sense. It would be curious, but I mean, you don't want to pry into nobody's business. But I would say the 40,000 or the lower end, those are the guys just getting into it. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you say? I mean, I'll have to ask Emil.
Like to see what KVD made off all the Strike King deals.
Yeah. I mean, you got
top guys are making money, but the 58th guy on Bass money list probably isn't.
Right.
I'd hate to see what Wheeler's making just from Rapala Crush City stuff. It very interesting. I don't know what it could be. All right, let's see. How about this? Let me go industry. I've been asking that. What's the key difference between a Carolina rig? This is technique and tactics. What's the key difference between Carolina rigs and Texas rigs? Now, not the weight and the setup, but where you use them. What is the key difference between a Carolina rig and a Texas rig?
I always use Carolina rigs a little bit deeper water. You know, that's for me. I would Alley a little bit deeper water, where the Texas rig is more, you know, shallower presentation.
Yeah. Texas rig catches fish. Okay, but it's
not wrong.
Okay,
Texas rig gets pulled out of the rod locker.
This is more like Jim put leader length. Okay, yeah, I get. This is more of where you would fish them.
Yeah, I mean.
So Ron says C rig works best in deeper water and less cover.
Right,
what do you think?
Throw the Texas rig in cover.
Right.
I've never thrown a Carolina rig, but I do know just from reading and watching stuff that it works better in deeper water.
I like that. What's a Carolina rig? The polygrapher is making the money. Mm-hmm. Hey, yeah, absolutely.
I wonder what Scott Martin's making.
Texas,
or what he spent.
Yeah, what he spent for sure. Texas in cover, Carolina on flats.
Right.
What do you think, Tim?
Just that, yeah. Texas rigs for like pinpointing, picking apart cover. Carolina rigs for covering water.
Okay, so this is what it would say. A Carolina, according to ChatGPT, a Carolina rig is better for open water and structure. Texas rigs excel in heavy cover.
Right.
So you're into the cover and stuff. Let's do a couple more before we call it a night. And by the way, I don't know if I ever said it, but Kevin Van Dam and Rick Clunn both have 4 wins.
4. Okay.
Both of them have 4 wins when it comes to the Bassmaster Classic. Let's see. That sucks. That and I did. Okay, here's a good one. What's the recommended safe water temperature range for live well use? According to ChatGPT, now, Kayak Guy, you're not going to get this, but you can guess.
Hey, I might get it.
What's the recommended safe water temperature range for live well use?
70 degrees. I don't know.
70?
70, 68, 70.
68, 70, 60, says Jim Wright. What do you say, Tim?
Is it given a range or it just?
What it does is it gives a number and below it. So what number would be the highest that you could? Let me rephrase the question for people. What would be the highest recommended safe water temperature range for a live well? What would be the highest down?
85 or lower.
85 or lower, you say. You got to guess?
75.
75 or lower. This price is right.
Yeah, I'll have to go 75 and lower.
$1.
And because I changed that, I'll let you guys in the comment section have a chance to answer that. Where does it start? What is the highest possible safe range for a live well to be ideal? 65 and lower. Warren says 65. I say 65. Hey, Warren's gonna be like, "Dadgummit, Danny," like that. And listen, guys, Warren's a great
I
guy.
want to change my answer.
I want to change my answer to what Warren
Can
says.
I buy a Val?
Go ahead. Below 80 degrees is ideal. Above that, supplemental oxygen or additives are recommended. So 80 degrees and below is
Wow.
ideal.
I was
Yeah,
close.
A lot of fun with that fish
It's
right
pretty
there.
high. I didn't think it would be that high.
Yeah.
I really didn't either. All right, here let's do the let's do one more and we'll call it a night. One more and we'll call it a night. What's a good fluorocarbon pound test for finesse spinning setups? What's a good fluorocarbon pound test for finesse spinning setups?
8 pound.
You say
10
8 pound,
10 pound.
10 pound,
10.
10 pound. We're gonna let you guys have a few minutes on this and
17.
17. Damn, cranking and yanking.
Well, I mean, look, it's cranking and yanking. So
it is cranking and yanking.
there's no finesse in that title.
All right, I'll give a couple more minutes. A lot of people are going with 8. I see a few 10s and cranking or spinning. What is that? That sounds about right for me. 10 to 12 pound leader, 6 pounds. Surprise backpacker. I love the names
That's
on some
a
of
new
these.
name.
YouTube. Surprise
No
backpacker.
joke.
Warren says 10. We'll see if Warren is correct. Since Warren has chimed in with 10, according to ChatGPT, 6 to 8 pound for optimal sensitivity and manageability. 6 to 8 pound for optimal sensitivity and manageability.
That's because they fishing for panfish.
No fluoro on a spinning reel, 12 on my bait caster, and I don't use no sissy stick. All right, well, with that, guys, I think we're gonna call it a night. Now, especially since we got the rain and we got 2 youngins back here. I want you to do me a favor, Claire. Come here. You're gonna get to be on the mic. Come here, hon. First of all, tell everybody out there what you speak into the microphone, and tell everybody your name.
My name is Clara,
All right. How old are you?
9.
9. All right, and you're real quick. Come on up here. No, don't leave. I don't want you to leave. What's your name?
Grady,
Grady. And how old are you?
7.
All right, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to look in. You see the camera right there? That camera right there. Okay? I want you to do this. And guys, we're going to see you next Tuesday on another live. I want you to do this. I want you to say, "Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one." You can do it. I want you to get right there. Look into that camera. Don't look at nobody. Look in the camera.
You can do it.
Look in the camera. I want you to say, "Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one."
Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.
There we go.
All right, there you go, guys. So, hey, with that, we're going to call it a night. I appreciate my crew coming up here and hanging out with us. Tracy, I'll see you in the morning. And, hey, guys, I got the kids behind me. Take some time this weekend. Take a kid fishing or go outside, spend some time in the outdoors. It'll be a blink of an eye. And this guy right here is going to be a fat old gray bearded guy just like myself. It goes that fast. So we love you. We'll see you on the next one. You guys have a great weekend. And Van Halen does rock, Richie, rock and roll.